Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, wherever you're at in the world. Welcome to Last Raps Baseball's live commentary of the Nippon Professional Baseball League. Tonight, it is going to be Game 2 in the series between the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighters and the Orix Buffaloes. This game here, if the Fighters win, it is all over, and they will not see the light of day tomorrow. Will the Buffaloes? However, if the Buffaloes win, it will force another game in the series, as they do have to try to win 3 in a row here to knock off the Fighters. Fighters are definitely in the driver's seat as they look to punch their ticket to the Pacific League Climax Final against the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks. We're going to give you the starting lineups, first of all, for the visitors from Osaka, the Orix Buffaloes. Leading off tonight, and in center field is number 30. That's Taishi Haruka. Batting second, and at second base is number 31, Ryo Oda. Batting third at shortstop is number 24, Kotaro Kobayashi. In the cleanup spot, and in right field is number 99, Yataro Sugimoto. Batting fifth at first base is number 44, Yuma Tongu. Hitting sixth and doing designated hitting is number 5, Masahiro Nishino. Batting seventh in left field is number 67, Kaida Nakagawa. Batting eighth at third base is number 6, Yuma Mune. And batting ninth and doing the catching is number 2, Kenya Wakatsuki. And they're going to be facing Koki Kitayama, who takes to the hill with a 9-5 record during the regular season. He worked 149 innings. Allowed 112 hits, 37 runs, 29 have been earned, walking 45, striking out 143, pitching to a 163 ERA. Now your starting lineup for the home team, the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighters. Leading off from right field is number 66, Chusei Manami. Hitting second in center field is number 7, Go Matsumoto. Hitting third and doing the designated hitting is number 99, Franmil Reyes. In the cleanup spot and playing third base is number 30, Yuya Gunji. Batting fifth at first base, number 21, Kotaro Kiyomiya. Batting sixth at shortstop, number 54, Shu Yamagata. Hitting seventh and catching is number 64, Yua Tamiya. Batting eighth in left field is number 53, Shun Mizutani. And batting ninth is Tetsuki Mizuno, and he's going to play second base. Well, the first pitch has been delivered by Kitayama. A fastball swung on, and it's grounded over to short. And just like that, we are underway with a ground out 6-3. On the first pitch of the ball game. So one of the books, and that is going to bring up the second baseman in Ryo Oda. Oda was 1 for 4 in last night's game. Only 4 hits produced by the Buffaloes, and he had one of them. As he steps in batting from the right side here against Kitayama. Right-hander rocks himself into the motion and delivers a first pitch fastball taken on the outside corner for a called strike, and the count is quickly 0-1. Buffaloes are in their dark uniforms again with the gold trim, white pants. The all whites with the blue trim for the Fighters tonight. As there's a fastball swung through and missed, and the count now goes to 0-2 on Oda. And should there be a third game in the series, or maybe even more, we will be back on again the airwaves tomorrow night. And we'll also be keeping our eyes peeled on the Giants and the Bay Stars. There's a fastball right down the middle, swung through and missed, and Oda's in the books for the second out of the inning, so 2 quick Buffalo outs here in inning number 1. That's going to bring up the shortstop in Kotaro Kobayashi. Defensively tonight for the Fighters, from left to right field, it is Mizutani in left, Matsumoto in center, and Manami in right. Around the horn from first to third, you've got Kiyomiya at first. The second baseman is Mizuno tonight. At shortstop, it is Yamagata, with the third baseman Gunji in the battery of Kitayama and Tamiya. The first pitch fastball misses upstairs to Kobayashi, and it's ball 1 to him. Kitayama delivers again. There's a breaking ball taken on the outside corner for a called strike, and the count runs even to 1-1. Kobayashi was 0 for 4 in last night's game. As we said, the effectiveness of the Buffaloes, not so much. And there is a fastball that catches the outside corner, and the count now goes to 1-2 on the Buffalo shortstop. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Kitayama getting the sign, rocks himself into the windup and delivers. There's a fastball that misses up and away, and the count runs even to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Again, Kitayama getting the sign from his catcher. To me, they're really pounding Kobayashi away. There's a fastball that has Some arm side run started away, came across the plate, and Kobayashi swang right through it. He's gone for the third out of the inning, and that is going to do it here for the Buffaloes in the first. They go quietly, no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. You were through a half inning. It is the Buffaloes, no score, and the Fighters coming to bat. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments with all the action right after this on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. It is Buffaloes and Fighters when we return. Welcome back, everybody. The ace of the staff, Hiroya Miyagi, just completing his tune-up tosses here for the Buffaloes as he's getting ready to face the Fighters in the top half of inning number one. They definitely need Miyagi to be the ace that he is, as he will face Manami, Matsumoto, and Reyes to get things going here in inning number one. Miyagi really took over the mantle after Yoshinobu Yamamoto left for greener pastures in Major League Baseball. He was sort of the 1A to Yamamoto being the number one. That was quite the 1-2 punch the Buffaloes had. But of course, now they have to rely on just Miyagi to steady the ship. The first pitch is a fastball that's taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1 to Manami. Manami was 2 for 3 in last night's ball game. He also drove in one of the 2 runs, getting the start in right field tonight as the lefty works himself into the motion and delivers. There's a fastball that misses down, and the count goes to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. On the Major League Baseball ledger tonight, the Milwaukee Brewers punched their ticket to play the Los Angeles Dodgers, as there's a fastball that misses inside. Seiya Suzuki was really the only offensive production tonight for the Cubs, as he had a solo shot. It was his 3rd of the playoffs, as he capped off a pretty decent season for the Cubs, despite having a little bit of injury troubles early on. There's a fastball swung on, and it's grounded foul over on the third base side. Last night, the ball boy over on the third base side was making some spectacular plays. This time, he pulls one off with the bare hands. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to Manami. Miyagi ready to go again. Manami has settled himself in the box as the lefty works himself set. They pounded Manami inside here in this at-bat. There's a fastball swung on, and it's fouled straight back. Count remains at 2-2. Defensively tonight for the Buffaloes, there was only one change from last night, and that is Yuma Tongu has been inserted into the lineup. But from left to right field, it's Nakagawa in left, Haruka in center, and the right fielder is Sugimoto, so no changes in the outfield. We'll give it the rest of the alignment after this next pitch as Miyagi kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball down. Count runs full to Manami. Around the horn from first to third, Tongu, as we said, getting the nod tonight. He's in, Mori is out. At second base, it is Oda, the shortstop, Kobayashi, and at third base, Mune, with the battery of Miyagi and Wakatsuki. So 3 balls and 2 strikes to Manami as he taps both sides of the dish. The lefty Miyagi ready to deliver. He kicks and fires. It's a fastball swung through and missed. And Manami's in the books. He's gone for the first out of the inning. That'll bring up the center fielder and Go Matsumoto. As we mentioned, we will keep our eyes on the action that's going on in Yokohama. The Giants have struck first in the top of the first inning, as it is Sasaki who has hit a solo shot to get things going for the Yomiuri Giants. So the Giants with a early 1-0 lead, as it looks like now they are moving themselves to... they're still in the top of the first inning. There's a breaking ball. It drops in for a called strike, and the count's quickly 0-1 to Matsumoto. Matsumoto came in as a defensive replacement for Nomura in the fifth inning last night. He only had one at bat, and he did have a single. So 1-for-1, he is in the starting lineup tonight. Nomura had butchered a ball in left field, as there's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. Matsumoto didn't really like the call on that one. He was sort of dancing out of the box. He has a nice smile for the home plate umpire, so no balls and 2 strikes. When you're a pitcher like Hiroya Miyagi, you do get a lot of calls that go in your favor. He is always around the zone. And so sometimes where the pitches may be a little bit low or a little bit off the inside corner, you're going to get that call. Here's the 0-2. Fastball taken right down the heart of the plate. Matsumoto stood there like the house by the side of the road. He watched it go by, and he just started walking right back to the Fighter dugout. He is gone for out number 2, and that's going to leave it up to the designated hitter in Franmil Reyes. Our friend CV in the house tonight, and he chimes in and he said, yeah, Suzuki hit one out for the Cubbies. We were talking about that a couple of moments ago, saying that he did punch one out, but not enough. They needed a few more runs. A little surprised that Shota Imanaga wasn't called upon at all in that game. There's a breaking ball that misses down and in, and the count now is 1-0 to Reyes. Our friend the hobbyist is in the house as well. He's joining us for some late-night Japanese baseball or maybe some Tennessee whiskey. I'm not sure either way. Glad to have Chris in here. There's a fastball that misses down and in. And the count goes to Franmil Reyes. So 2-0 it is. Lefty ready to go again. As that pitch is down, and the count now goes to 3-0. So 3 balls and no strikes. Again, the lefty working himself to the belt, and he kicks and delivers. There's a slow breaking ball that misses outside. That's going to be ball 4. So Reyes is going to be the first runner of the ball game as he reaches on 4 straight pitches. That is going to bring up the dangerous Yuya Gunji to the plate. Hobby says he can't sleep. Well, thanks for tuning in there, Chris. I'm sure we could try to do our best to put you to sleep here, depending on how this game goes. Yuya Gunji stepping to the dish. He was the man last night in the ball game. He was 2 for 3, had a double and a home run. And he scored both of the runs for the Fighters in last night's game. As he steps in here, ready to face the lefty Miyagi. As time has been called, Wakatsuki has requested time. Reyes has made his way back to the base. So Gunji with a very open stance, extends his hands well in front of his body. As the lefty delivers, there is a breaking ball that is swung through and missed, and the count is quickly 0-1 to Gunji. So no balls and 1 strike. As we said, this game going on and the other one at the same time. We were talking a little bit about it last night. I don't understand what the theory behind it is. I would have thought that you've only got 2 games going on in the Japanese league, and you'd think that the Central and Pacific could get together and split the start times of the game. Certainly would have a lot more people engaged in watching it, one would have to think. Here's the 0-1. It's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count runs even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Crowd is in good spirits for this one here, as tapping both sides of the plate is Yuya Gunji. As the lefty works himself to the set, now delivers. Fastball misses down, and the count now goes to 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Gunji really sets up close to the plate, and then he drops his left foot back. It almost looks like he wants to crowd the plate, but then he really drops back off of it. I don't know if that's done for a reason where he can stride to the line, but he really never actually gets balanced at any point. As there's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count goes to 3-1. So 3 balls and 1 strike. Next round of the playoffs in North America get going tomorrow, as it's going to be the Blue Jays and the Mariners. It'll be the first game in that series in Toronto. There's a breaking ball that is swung through and missed, and the count now goes to 3-2 to Gunji. Quite a bit off of that did Miyagi, as he started that pitch well outside, broke across the plate. Gunji was not able to come up with that one there. So 3 balls and 2 strikes it is. Reyes will be on the move as the lefty delivers to the dish. 2 gone here in the first inning. Again, the lefty kicks and fires. There's a fastball swung on that's fought off down the right field line, and it's going to reach the netting, and it's going to keep the count at 3-2. Hobbyist says it's odd because they'd have it on different days for more money. That 100%. And that's been my beef is that if they played one game, for example, if you did the Fighters and the Buffaloes played in the afternoon on Saturday, you could play the other game at night. There's enough people that would definitely be interested in watching both. There's a breaking ball swung on and fouled straight back, and the count remains at 3-2. One would have to think baseball fans would be glued to their TV across the country. And on the other side of the coin, then maybe the next day you flip it around. You come back to back. You go night game to day game for the other league, and you go day game to night game for the Pacific League as an example. But there are other people that may think differently upon that. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. It remains to Gunji. Miyagi ready to deliver again. He fires. It's a fastball swung on and another one fouled away. So Gunji, after retiring the first 2 batters on strikes, only took him 10 pitches to get Minami and Matsumoto. He walked Reyes on 4 straight balls, and now he is at the 9th pitch of the at-bat to Yu Gunji. As Gunji waggles the bat. And waiting here on the pitch here from Miyagi as he gets the sign. Now he delivers. There's a fastball swung on. It is lifted down the right field line. It's slicing. Is it going to go foul? It looks like it had just sliced foul off the wall. Oh boy, it didn't miss by much. Went into the corner, and after it was Sugimoto. And he wouldn't have been able to come up with it. He wouldn't have been able to catch it. It was a little bit beyond his reach. But the ball was just foul. We'll look at it again on the replay. Probably only about maybe 2 or 3 feet foul in that right field corner. It's going to keep the battle alive here. So 3 balls and 2 strikes it remains. So it's going to be the 10th pitch of the at-bat coming here to the Fighters' third baseman. As Miyagi holds set, kicks and delivers. Breaking ball swung on, grounded to third. Diving is Mune. He's going to stop the ball, but he's not going to be able to come up with the play. That'll be an infield single for Gunji. Absolutely scorched it. It was a great play by Mune diving to his right to have to knock it down. But everybody's going to be safe. Reyes cruises into second base. And that is going to bring up the dangerous Kotaro Kiyomiya. Look at that play again. Nice play by Mune just to get to the ball, but unable to come up with it to be able to throw anyone out. Well, that brings Kiyomiya to the plate. He was 0 for 3 in last night's ball game. Batting from the left side here against Miyagi. Fighters, all the action here has started with 2 out. Runners at first and second, 2 in the books. Kiyomiya hit .272 in the regular season. And he is a run producer in the middle of the order, one of the top 5 run producers in the Pacific League, as he takes a fastball at the knees for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. as the hobbyist was saying earlier about it being a bit odd, where the Americans, or they would have it, I say Americans, but the North Americans, because they do it with the schedule for the Blue Jays, would be playing on different nights or opposite days. I think that's the right thing to do, personally. Here's the 0-1. Fastball misses down, and the count goes even to 1-1. So not quite the start that Miyagi may have wanted here. He got the first two batters efficiently, and then things have kind of gone a little bit awry. Two pretty good at-bats here by Reyes and Gunji. All of a sudden ratcheted up the pitch count. Pitch number 27 of the inning on the way. Breaking ball swung on and lifted foul down the left field line, and the count goes to 1-2. I think the Fighters will be licking the chops to be able to get into their bullpen. Hobbyist says, is there a holiday coming up? For us, there is. Monday, it's Thanksgiving. In Japan, it's the playoffs. So a lot of action going on in Japan. And of course, with the hobbyist, his holiday is Halloween. 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball in the dirt. Good stop there by Wakatsuki. Count goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Kiyomiya steps out of the box with 1 foot. As Miyagi goes to the rosin bag. Now they're back in their respective spots. He's pounded Kiyomiya away. Unlike Manami, where he was coming inside, Reyes jockeying at second base. Here's the pitch. It's a breaking ball. Waved at and missed. And Kiyomiya is down on strikes. So Miyagi strikes out the side. Gets the first 2 by Ks, and then a walk and a single, and then finally retires Kiyomiya via the strikeouts. And that is going to do it here for the Fighters in their half of the inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 2 runners left aboard. Through 1 complete at Escon Field in Hokkaido. It is the Buffaloes no score and the Fighters no score. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments. We appreciate all you guys for hanging in here with us on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the heart of the batting order to come to bat for the Buffaloes here in inning number 2, as it'll be Yataro Sugimoto, Yuma Tongu, and Masahiro Nishino to come to bat to face the starter, Koki Kitayama. For Kitayama, he retired inside in order in the first inning. Could be a strikeout festival tonight between these 2 pitchers, depending on how long they can hang around in the game. Kitayama with 2 in the first himself. Delivers a first pitch fastball that misses outside. They appeal over to the first base umpire, but say that Sugimoto didn't go around, and the count is quickly 1-0. Sugimoto in last night's game had a hit in 3 trips. He takes a breaking ball for called strike, and the count now goes to 1-1. He also drew a walk. He was on base twice. Kitayama again delivers. There's a breaking ball that misses outside. Again, they appeal to the first base umpire, and again, you say that Sugimoto doesn't go around. The count now goes to 2-1. Interesting the patterns to see how they're choosing to pitch different pitchers. There's a fastball At 94, that misses upstairs. The count is 3-1. Sugimoto, they're pounding him away. Nothing inside yet. As we saw with Chusei Minami when he came to bat, everything they threw to him, they tried to throw inside to him. Didn't want to let his hands get extended from him. There's a fastball that swung on it, is hit into deep left center field. This ball could be trouble on the warning track, and looking up is Mizutani, and it's gone about 10 rows into the seats. And the Buffaloes have opened up the scoring here in the top of the second inning with a solo shot by Yataro Sugimoto as he comes around with the first run of the ball game. Well, for Sugimoto, he was 5th in the Pacific League in home runs during the 2025 campaign, which in some ways sounds impressive. In other ways, he only had 16. But regardless, he is a power threat at the plate, and that pitch there caught a little bit more of the plate than I think Kitayama did. Sugimoto made no mistake on the 3-1 pitch, hammering it into the left center field seats. And that is going to bring Yuma Tongu to the plate. The first pitch to Tongu is a breaking ball that misses up and away, and the count is 1-0. Tongu, the only player that did not see action in last night's game, batted .249 on the year with 13 homers and 54 RBIs. Takes a breaking ball for a called strike, and the count goes even to 1-1. Tongu was the captain of the Buffaloes, so it was a bit of an eyebrow raiser why he wasn't in the ball game last night. There's a breaking ball that is hammered foul into the seats well down the left field line. And the count now is 1-2 to Tongu. So Buffaloes strike first here in the top of the second inning. And there's a fastball delivered to Tongu. It's grounded softly to third. Gunji fields it. He fires to first. Ground out 5-3 for the first out of the inning. One in the books, and that is going to bring up Masahiro Nishino. We get a chance to look at some of the replays that Sugimoto, he was right on time with the pitch and made no mistake about it. Buffalo still have some firepower in this lineup. I think, a couple of years ago when they had Yamamoto on the hill, that's a huge loss to have to replace. And one would have to think, I would think that maybe Aaron Curry would be going tomorrow. There's a first pitch fastball ticket for a called strike. The count is 0-1. Nishino was 1 for 4 in last night's ball game. He is the designated hitter tonight. Takes a breaking ball for a called strike. The count now goes to 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. Again, Kitayama delivers. There's a fastball swung on it as sliced foul into the seats down the left field line, and the count remains at 0-2. Should there be another game in this series, we will have it for you again tomorrow night. In the event that there isn't a game in this series, if there is a game in the Central League, which looks like it could be happening, as that 95-mile-an-hour fastball misses up and away, and it's now 1-2. The Bay Stars are trailing the Giants 5-0. It's still in the top of the first inning. And most of the damage has come with 2 out. That ball's been popped foul. It's going to reach the seats over on the third base side. Count is 1-2. So if you're just joining us saying, hey, I want to come to a more competitive game, you've found it. It was a 3-run homer off of Andre Jackson by Nakayama in the first inning, and Sasaki led off the ball game with a home run. So that's how they have scored their runs, or at least 4 of the 5 runs. I don't know where the other one would be. It looks like it was a Soshi Togo. The pitcher drove in a run. There's a ground ball hit over to second. Fielded easily by Mizuno. He throws to first, and Nishino is retired at a ground out 4-3. So 2 in the books here. That's going to leave it up to the left fielder in Kaida Nakagawa. Well, for Nakagawa, he was 0 for 4 in last night's game. Steps to the plate here, batting from the right side. Nakagawa waiting on the first offering here from Kitayama as he kicks and delivers. Fastball check swing foul over on the first base side. Count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. Again, Kitayama delivers. There's a breaking ball that misses upstairs, and the count goes to 1-1. Kitayama getting the sign, working into the windup and delivers. There's a breaking ball missing up and away. Counts 2-1 to Nakagawa. Just trying to see if they've announced. Last night, they did not announce the pitchers for the Fighters and the Buffaloes till after the game was played. As there's a fastball swung on, it is popped up over on the shallow left field. Coming in on it is the left fielder, Mizutani, but he's going to get called off by the center fielder, Matsumoto, who's there to make the catch, and Nakagawa is retired for the third out of the inning. But there was damage done in the inning. A leadoff home run by Yatara Sugimoto has put the Buffaloes out in front 1-0. 1 run, 1 hit, no errors, nobody left the board. We're moving to the bottom of the second. Your score is the Buffaloes 1, the Fighters no score. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be back with the call in just a couple of moments right after this. Appreciate you for listening on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel.
Hello, this is Eric Fox, formerly of the Oakland A's and Texas Rangers baseball teams. If you want to learn about Japanese baseball, see Coach Fred of Last Raps Baseball. If you want baseball instruction, see Coach Fred. If you want to learn about golf, do not go to Coach Fred. Fred, what kind of club is this?
At Last Raps Baseball, we know baseball. That's right, everybody. We know baseball, and we know that it is a 1-0 Buffaloes lead here as we move to the bottom of the second inning. Yataro Sugimoto opening up the scoring here with a solo shot in the top of the second inning. And the Buffaloes are out in front. It'll be Yamagata, Tamiya, and Mizutani as they will be coming to bat here as well. The first pitch on the way, it is a breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count is quickly 0-1. Yamagata did not appear in last night's ball game. He is hitting .232, 3 homers and 11 RBIs on the year. As the lefty kicks and delivers, it is a breaking ball that misses down, and the count goes even at 1-1. Gerald Frank says, how to hear the Japanese broadcast. Not sure what you're asking. If that's what you're looking for. Here's the 1-1 pitch. It is a fastball on the way. It is lined over the head of the shortstop, Kirby into left field. And Yamagata is aboard with a leadoff single here to start the second inning. And that is going to bring up the catcher in Yua Tamiya. So the Fighters get their leadoff man aboard here in inning number 2. They had 2 runners aboard in the first inning. Everything all came with 2 outs. So Tamiya coming to the plate, who is 1 for 2 in last night's affair. Tamiya getting the start on back-to-back ball games. There were a couple of changes in the starting lineup for the ball game here tonight, as Mizutani had made his way into the lineup and Yamagata. Ishii and Nomura found themselves to the bench. Of course, Matsumoto came on as a replacement in the game the other night. There's a bunt down the third baseline, fielded by Mune. His only play is going to be to first, and that is going to be a sacrifice. It's going to go in the books as a 5-4 putout. Tamiya erased for the first out of the inning. Yamagata down to second. That'll bring up the left fielder in Shun Mizutani. Well, for Mizutani, making his debut in the 2025 Climax Series. Hit .277 in the regular season, 12 homers and 41 runs driven in. It's the opportunity to get the start tonight. Mizutani with a productive campaign in the 2025 year as he digs himself in. He was the MVP of the interleague play in the 2024 season. As the lefty Miyagi delivers the first pitch, fastball misses inside, and the count is 1-0. As we were mentioning, interesting to see the patterns, the way that the pitchers are attacking certain hitters. Miyagi not afraid to come inside. He did that pretty much to most of Chusei Manami's at bat. We'll see if they set up the same way here to the right-handed hitting Mizutani, and he does throw a fastball inside, and it's grounded softly up the middle past the glove of the diving shortstop Kobayashi, and it squeaks into center field, and Mizutani's going to drive in the first run of the game for the Fighters, so they've evened it up at 1 apiece. RBI single as Yamagata comes all the way around from second to score. So some small ball to effectiveness, a base hit, a bunt, and a seeing eye single up the middle, as even the scoreline at 1 apiece. And that is going to bring up the second baseman in Tatsuki Mizuno. As we peek in at looking for the potential starters, it is going to be Yokokawa going for the Giants tomorrow night against Azuma, the Bay Stars. If that game goes another one, they haven't announced the Fighters or the Buffaloes yet. I'm not sure why. Usually they do that right at the start of the game, or even at least 5 or 6 innings deep at the latest. And again, squaring the bunt, and it's a good one as it gets down in front of the plate, but Wakatsuki attacks it like a cat, picks it up, and he fires to second, and they're going to get Mizuno. What a great defensive play there by the catcher, Kenya Wakatsuki. The bunt was down. He raced out, was able to get it, and fired down to second base. That's going to erase Mizutani. It's going to be a fielder's choice. 2-6 on the putout. He's gone for out number 2. Mizuno's safe over at first. And that is going to bring up the top of the order. It was a great pick, too, by the shortstop, Kobayashi. Had to play it like a first baseman, really, really stretched out and was able to backhand pick it in the dirt. But 2 gone here for the Fighters. It brings Manami to the plate. And for Manami, 0 for 1 tonight, struck out his first time up. And the first pitch is a breaking ball swung on it, is lifted into deep center field. Drifting back to the edge of the warning track and making the catch is Haruka. And that is going to do it here for the Fighters. But they answer back with a run of their own here in the second inning. There was 1 run in the inning on the benefit of 2 hits. There was no errors, and there was a runner left aboard. Your score, as we are now through 2 complete innings, it is the Buffaloes 1, the Fighters 1. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be back in just a few after this on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the top of the 3rd inning, and coming to bat for the Fighters will be Yumamune, Kenya Wakatsuki in the top of the order in Taishi Haruka. As it is all square at 1 apiece. Buffaloes struck first in their top of the second, a solo shot off the bat of Yataru Sugimoto. Fighters answer back with a RBI single off the bat of Shun Mizutani, and that is where we are at ones. The first pitch delivered to Yumamune is a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is quickly 0-1. 28 pitches through the first 2 innings for the right-hander Kitayama, who rocks and delivers. There's a fastball that just misses inside, and the count runs even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Kitayama rocking into the delivery. It's a breaking ball swung on and grounded over to first. Fielded by Kiyomiya. He calls off the pitcher as he's going to take it himself. That's going to go as a ground out to 3 for out number 1. So 1 of the books. That'll bring up the catcher in Kenya Wakatsuki. So for Wakatsuki, he is 1 for 2 last night in the ball game. He also drew a walk. And as a reward for that, he gets dropped down to the 9th spot in the batting order. Only 1 of 3 players who had hits in the game last night. And the first pitch is a breaking ball that misses down and away. The count is quickly 1-0 to Wakatsuki. Kitayama rocks and delivers. There's a fastball that just misses. Count now goes to 2-0. And just like that, if you're thinking that the Giants, I looked away, I thought, oh boy, the Giants are in trouble here. Well, what do you know? The Yokohama DNA Bay Stars have scored 5 at the bottom of the first inning and have locked it all up at 5. So they're still batting in the first inning. Unbelievable. And the 2-0 pitch is a fastball taken for a called strike. Wakatsuki had asked for time. The home plate umpire didn't give it. Kitayama delivered the pitch, and it went right down the middle. Looks like Kaita Sano hit a 2-run shot, and it was Ishigami with a 3-run shot. As there's a breaking ball waved at and missed by Wakatsuki, the count goes to 2-2, and that has tied the game. So the 2 starters, Soshi Togo and Andre Jackson, being roughed up in the first inning. Bay Stars are now done, so that is going to the top of the second. There's a fastball swung on. This is lined into right field. This could be trouble. It's going to get down, and it's off the wall. Manami picks it up, and he fires into second base, but sliding in is Wakatsuki. The ball gets away from the shortstop, but backing up the play was Mizutani over there. Nice job by the left fielder. Manami, good job to get it in the corner and turned and just let the arm loose. I don't think they would have had a shot at him, even if the ball would have been on line. And as I look at the replay, the answer to that is probably not. So a double off the bat of Wakatsuki. It's going to bring the top of the order up in Taishi Haruka. Haruka 0 for 4 in the series, 0 for 1 tonight. As the right-hander Kitayama checks the runner at second. Now delivers. Breaking ball misses down and away. Count is quickly 1-0. So our friend Mick is in the house tonight. Long time no see. And our friend Harrison also in here as well. And it's unbelievable that the Bay Stars got back to tie it up at 5. And the pitch on the way is a breaking ball that misses down and away. The count now goes to 2-0. Mick says he misses listening. Well, we miss having you around. It was an interesting year this year. We called a lot of games in the first half of the season, and then the back half of the season, it just got particularly busy. Then I was out of the country for a little bit. I was in Taiwan for a couple of weeks. And we really didn't do a whole lot in the month of September, but we're going to do as many playoff games as I possibly can, which is probably everything but next Friday night. As there's a breaking ball, it's taken for a called strike. The count is 2-1. Our friend Harrison is jumping up and down. He is pulling hard for Yokohama, or for the DNA Bay Stars. That is his team. And of course, Mick likes his Buffaloes. I like Buffalo too, usually medium rare, but you never know. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. Kitayama delivers. Breaking ball waved at and missed. And the count now goes to 2-2 on Haruka. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. I was thinking that maybe people would start pouring into this game because be a more competitive game. And the next thing you know, the Bay Stars come right back with 5 of their own with those 2 homers in the first inning. Crazy. Harrison says Bauer is so cooked. Bauer's not even worth talking about. He's not even on the playoff roster at the moment. So here comes the 2-2 pitch as the right-hander holds set. Kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball missing down and away. It's now 3-2 to Haruka. Waiting his turn on deck is the second baseman, Ryo Oda. Harrison said he was removed from the roster. He gave up 5 runs to an Industrial League team in an exhibition game last week in 1 inning of work, and I think that was the decision right there. They said, nah, you're done. It wasn't inter squad. It was against an Industrial League team. There's a breaking ball that swung on. It was grounded up the middle. Oh, what a nice diving play by the shortstop, Yamagata. But he's not going to have a play anywhere. Reaching third safely is Wakatsuki. It's going to be an infield single for Haruka. So now the Buffaloes have got runners on the corners with 1 gone, and it's going to bring Ryo Oda to the plate. So the Buffaloes are starting to make a little bit of noise here. Top of the order coming up. Runners on the corners. And only 1 down. And there looks like there's going to be a conference on the mound here. As the pitching coach, Kato, has come out to talk to his defense about how they're going to handle this situation. You got Haruka, who is running at first base. On the season, Haruka in particular stole 9 bases. He can run. He's not particularly a speedster by any stretch. But in this type of situation here with runners on the corners, although I'd have to say Kenya Wakatsuki probably not the threat to score in a first and third. Arguably one of the slower runners in the Buffalo lineup. So this brings to the plate Ryo Oda. Oda, who is 0 for 1 tonight. He's 1 for 5 in the series. Ready to face the right-hander Kitayama. Kitayama has been pretty decent tonight until this inning, of course, and now he's got himself his first real threat. He gave the home run up to Sugimoto, but retired 6 of the first 7 batters that he faced in the ball game. So Oda waggling the bat as the right-hander ready to go to work. Gets the side from his catcher. Tamiya now delivers. Breaking ball drops in for a called strike, and he's ahead in the count now at 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. Be interesting to see if the Giants are going to answer back and how that game will end up playing out in Yokohama. Sometimes after a wild first inning, teams have a tendency to dry up their offense after a while, and maybe that might be the case in Yokohama. Here comes the 0-1 pitch as the right-hander works to the set. He checks the runners, now delivers. Breaking ball swung on, and it's chopped foul just past the third base coach's box, and the count goes to 0-2 on Oda. So no balls and 2 strikes. Orix Buffaloes looking to extend the series here tonight. Should the Fighters win, it'll be all over. If they do win tonight, they will play again tomorrow. All games are in Hokkaido. Same thing over in the other league, in the Central League. If the Bay Stars win tonight, it is going to be all over. But if the Giants are able to get a victory, they will play again tomorrow night, and we will call that one in the event that should take place. Here's the pitch. 0-2 on the way. Fastball misses outside, and the count now goes to 1-2. PXI jumps in, says he's listened to all games on via VODs, but just saying hi, catching it live. Hey, awesome. Really appreciate you for being in here, and glad we could entertain you in some capacity. Yeah, we are in north of the border in Canada. So here comes the 1-2 pitch as the right-hander delivers. Fastball swung on and missed, and Oda is gone on strikes. He's gone for the second out of the inning. That's a big strikeout there by Kitayama, and that is going to leave it all up to the shortstop in Kotaro Kobayashi. Two-seam fastball that rode up and in on Oda. Nice pitch there by Kitayama. He reared back, put a little extra mustard on it. That's his third strikeout of the evening. Harrison said we should go to a Jays postseason game. The only problem is I grew up close to Detroit, right on the border. I was not a Blue Jay fan. And if I was going to go to a game, it probably would have been last night, but I didn't feel like heading down the I-5 to Seattle for late night entertainment. So here comes the pitch from the right-hander as Kobayashi stands in. Pitch on the way, fastball lifted into deep left field. This ball could be trouble. Back onto the warning track, leaping, and it's gone. A 3-run homer off the bat of Kotaro Kobayashi. And the Buffaloes have answered back with 3 of their own here in the third inning and have now taken a 4-1 lead. Kitayama shell-shocked as he's watching Kobayashi round the bases. That's his first hit of the series. And what it is in timely fashion, it's definitely not the home run that Sugimoto hit. This was a bit of a wall scraper as it got into the front row. But they still count just the same. And the Buffaloes are now out in front with a 4-1 lead. And that is going to bring up the right fielder, the aforementioned Yutaro Sugimoto, who's already homered in this one. So Kitayama rocks into the windup, and the first pitch is a breaking ball that's swung through for strike 1, and the count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike to Sugimoto. Right-hander again delivers. There's a breaking ball catching the outside corner, and the count goes to 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. Kitayama working quickly with nobody on, delivers a breaking ball. It's rolled over to short, fielded by the shortstop Yamagata, who throws to first, and that is going to do it. But too little too late here for the Fighters as the Buffaloes strike for 3 runs in the third. 3 runs in the inning on the benefit of 3 hits. There was no errors, and there was nobody left aboard. We're moving to the bottom of the third inning. Your score is the Orix Buffaloes 4 and the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighters 1. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a few with all the action right here on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Stay with us. We'll be back after this.
Well, you've got to have an ace in the hole, a little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play, but you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just one roll. You've got to have an ace in the hole.
Welcome back, everybody. We're moving to the bottom of the second inning, and the man of the hour now is Kotaro Kobayashi, who deposited a 3-run shot into the left field seats in inning number 3 to give the Buffaloes a 4-1 lead here. As we move to the last half of inning number 3, it'll be Matsumoto, Reyes, and Gunji to come to bat to face the lefty Hiroya Miyagi, who now has a lead to work with. So the Buffaloes looking to respond from last night's loss to get back into the series. A face elimination here tonight. And the first pitch breaking ball misses down and away. And the count is 1-0. We'll keep an eye to see if they do end up updating who the pitchers will be for tomorrow night in this series should the game go another round. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. And the count goes even to 1-1 on Matsumoto. We mentioned that the pitching matchups have already been announced over in the Central League. It's going to be Azuma against Yokokawa. Azuma for the Bay Stars. There's a breaking ball waved at and missed. The count now goes to 1-2. Yokokawa will take to the hill for the Giants in that one. Interesting pitching matchup as Yokokawa had 25 appearances this past season, only had a couple of wins. It is 66 innings of work. There's a fastball swung on and missed. And Matsumoto is made quick work of. He's gone for the first out of the innings. The second time tonight he's gone down on strikes. So one of the books here in the third inning, that's going to bring up the designated hitter in Franmil Reyes. Hard to tell if it was a split finger pitch or if it was a two-seamer with a really low three-quarter arm action. Either way, the ball had a little bit of sink to it, as that was able to put away Matsumoto. That brings Reyes to the plate. The first pitch to him is a breaking ball at the knees, taken for a called strike. The count's 0-1. Reyes walked in the first inning. He was stranded at second. He is 2 for 3 in the series so far. He's been on base 3 out of 4 times as the lefty Miyagi kicks and fires. And there is a breaking ball waved at and missed, and the count now goes to 0-2. I guess if you're going to pitch to Reyes, you might as well do it as well. Our friend Harrison jumps in. He says, can the Bay Stars beat the Tigers? The question is can the Bay Stars get by the Giants? Fastball misses outside, and the count goes to 1-2. And nobody sleeps at this place, Harrison. Everybody's awake. So 1 ball and 2 strikes it is as the lefty again works himself into the delivery. And there's a fastball that I'm not sure where that missed at 95 miles an hour. Wakatsuki wanted the call. It looked like it was under the hands inside they set up. Home plate umpire did not go up with the right hand. It's going to run the count even at 2-2. There's another breaking ball delivered to Reyes, and this is going to be lifted foul. It's going to reach the seats down the right field line, and count remains at 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Lefty again works himself to the belt. Here comes the 2-2. Fastball misses way upstairs. The count now goes to 3-2 on Reyes. 1 gone here in the bottom of the third. Buffaloes struck for 3 in the top half of their inning. Fighters looking to respond here in the bottom half of the fourth. 1 out and nobody on. And the 3-2 pitch coming to Reyes. As Miyagi delivers, there is a breaking ball swung on, is grounded through the 6-hole into left field. Past the diving shortstop Kirby-Ashi, and Reyes is aboard with a 1-out single. So his hot hitting continues. 3 for 4 now in the series with a walk. And that is going to bring up the next hottest hitter in the Fighters order, and that's Yuya Gunji. And for Gunji, well, 1 for 1 tonight, 3 for 4 in the series with a homer and an RBI. If you're looking for a quick response, this might be it right here. So Gunji waggling the bat, waiting on the first pitch, and it's a fastball swung on and belted down the left field line, but it's going to hook foul. Oh boy, he was right on that. No balls and 1 strike to Gunji. Swinging like he knows exactly what pitch is coming his way. Ball was absolutely blistered. If you're the pitcher here, you got to say, what kind of tricks do I have up my sleeve to keep this guy off balance? But it's like he knows every pitch that's coming. first pitch was inside, whatever it is, don't throw it again. So here comes the 0-1 offering as its fastball misses down and the count goes even to 1-1. Kind of be shocked if either of these two pitchers are around after the 6th inning tonight. Both the pitch counts are ratcheting up quickly. So 1 ball and 1 strike as the lefty works to the set. And here comes the pitch. It is a breaking ball down, and the count goes to 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Winner of this series goes to Fukuoka to take on the SoftBank Hawks. They are currently awaiting their turn to play. I often wonder the long layoff, if that's got something to do. There's a fastball that's down, and it comes inside, and it looks like it has hit Gunji in the foot, in the back foot. And he is slowly going to make his way to first base. That's a guy right there that probably doesn't want to get hit, or you don't want him to get hit. He is one of your hottest hitters. So he's going to make his way to first. The trainer is out to see him, and now the pitching coach for the Buffaloes out to the mound to have a quick word with their ace. Look at that again. The pitch was down. I'm looking at it. Got him right on the toe, the big toe. Really slow to react was Gunji. A little surprising. Didn't do a better job of trying to skip rope and get out of the way. 52 pitches now here for Miyagi in the 3rd inning. And with runners at first and second, it's going to bring Kotaro Kiyomiya to the plate. Kiyomiya struck out his first time up. As we had mentioned before, he is a dangerous hitter. Yet another one in the Fighters batting order. And the first pitch on the way to Kiyomiya is a breaking ball down. It gets away from the catcher, Kenya Wakatsuki. But going nowhere is the runner at second base, Franmil Reyes. So here we go again. And this is what happens. You need to put up a 0. When you have a bunch of runs that you score to take the lead, you need your pitcher, especially the ace, to come up big. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is lined into center field, coming hard, and diving is Haruka, and he's going to miss it. It goes all the way to the wall. Rounding third and heading home is Reyes. Now heading home is the runner, and that is going to be Gunji. He's going to score another run, and into third with a triple is Kiyomiya. Oh, my goodness. You couldn't have asked for anything worse in that situation. Taisi Haruka left his feet, and that meant the left fielder Nakagawa had to run it down. That's going to go down as a 2-run triple, completely whiffed on the ball. 2 RBIs for Kiyomiya. As Reyes and Gunji cash in. And it is now a 4-3 ball game here in the 3rd inning. So the fireworks that were going on in Yokohama have made their way up to Escon Field in Hokkaido. And that's going to bring up the shortstop in Shu Yamagata. A chance to see the replay on that, and I'm not really sure what was the thought process. But they've just given it right back. And our friend Harrison says, good night. Well, it's unfortunate, Harrison, because it's playoff baseball. First pitch fastball grounded foul over on the third base side, and the count is 0-1 to Yamagata. Yamagata singled and scored a run his first time up. He didn't play in last night's game. Gets to start here tonight. The Buffaloes have the infield in. And on top of it, they've got action in the bullpen. As the lefty Miyagi delivers, it's a breaking ball swung on, and this is going to be lifted foul down the right field line. The count now goes to 0-2 on Yamagata. I think, if I'm not mistaken, the right-hander who is up and throwing is Sachiro Yamazaki, so he's getting himself loose in a big-time hurry. Harrison said he's beat for studying. Well, Harrison, Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Fastball up in the zone, and Yamagata went swinging. Rearing back was the lefty Miyagi and blew it right by him. Literally, Wakatsuki was standing up to have to catch it. Yamagata gone for the second out of the inning, and that's going to leave it up to the catcher, and Yua Tamiya. That was some power pitching right there, and Yamagata not a very competitive at bat. Well, that brings Yua Tamiya to the plate. He has a sacrifice bunt to his name. 1 for 2 in the series as the pitch is on the way. It's a fastball swung on. It's chopped over to second. Fielding it neatly is the second baseman, Oda, and he throws to first, and Tamiya is going to be gone. It's a ground out 4-3. Well, the Fighters answer back with a couple of runs of their own here in inning number 3. 2 runs on the benefit of 2 hits. There was no errors, and there was a runner left aboard. We are now through a third of the ball game in Hokkaido. Your score is the Orix Buffaloes 4 and the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighters 3. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a little bit with all the action right after this time out. Welcome back, everybody. We are moving ourselves to the top of the 4th inning, where it'll be Yumatongu, Masahiro Nishino, and Kaina Nakagawa to come to bat here as the Buffaloes and the Fighters traded punches in the 3rd inning. Buffaloes scored 3 runs in the top of the 3rd on a 3-run homer by Kataro Kobayashi, and answering back was the Fighters with a 2-run triple off the bat of Kataro Kiyomiya. And that is where we stand here with a score of 4-3 for the Buffaloes. It is Kitayama who is ready to face Tongu, and he rocks into the motion and delivers. A first pitch breaking ball swung on and fouled away. And the count is quickly 0-1. Tongu tonight 0 for 1, grounded out to third his first time up. Getting the nod in the lineup here tonight and the start at first base. Kitayama delivers. Breaking ball catches the outside corner for a called strike. The count goes to 0-2. I think if I'm Kitayama, I have to have a wry smile at that one. I'm not sure that that was a strike, but the umpire gives him the home call. Kitayama delivers. There's a breaking ball swung on. This ball is golfed into deep left field. This ball could be trouble. Up against the wall, leaping and making the catch was Mizutani. Oh, what a play by him. If that ball was maybe just another foot or two in the air higher, it might have been able to carry out. But that is going to retire Tongu. Too good an 0-2 pitch. Hung that one just a little bit middle in. And he absolutely turned on it. Mizutani leaping at the wall to bring it down. And Tongu gone for the first out of the inning. And that'll bring up the designated hitter in Masahiro Nishino. And the first pitch to Nishino is a breaking ball that misses outside for a ball. Count is 1-0. Nishino 0 for 1 tonight, grounded out to second his first time up. 1 for 5 in the series, takes a breaking ball over for a called strike, and the count goes even at 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. There's another breaking ball that just misses outside, and the count goes to 2-1. Action now in the Fighters bullpen as well, as Yamazaki was up and throwing for the Buffaloes. There's a fastball swung on it, is hammered to first. Picking it up is Kiyomiya, and he's got to win the race to the bag. It's going to go down as a ground out to 3. Nishino's gone for the second out of the inning, and that is going to bring up the left fielder in Kaida Nakagawa. And yet a different reliever now up and throwing for the Buffaloes. So they had Sachiro Yamazaki up throwing in the last inning. It's Aaron Curry who is now up and throwing, the former Hiroshima Carp. We wondered if he was going to be given the ball tomorrow night, if there was a tomorrow night. As the pitch is on the way, there's a breaking ball that just misses outside. The count is 1-0 to Nakagawa. Nakagawa 0 for 1 tonight, flew out to center field, 0 for 5 in the series. And there is a breaking ball that catches the outside corner, and the count runs even to 1-1. I didn't get the number of the pitcher who was throwing for the Fighters in their bullpen. Both teams have action going on. There's a fastball swung on and fouled straight back, and the count goes to 1-2. So interesting that Curry now throwing. I wonder if they would give him a clean inning. In other words, that he would start the inning, or at least prepare him as if he's coming in to start a ball game. 1-2 pitch on the way. Fastball misses down, and the count goes to 2-2. I got a chance to see Curry pitch about 3 times a couple of years ago when he was with the Carp. Saw him pitch against the Giants. Some pitch against the Bay Stars, and I forget who else. Here's the 2-2. Fastball swung on, popped up foul over on the third base side, giving chase is Gunji, but he's going to watch it drift into the seats. It's going to keep the count at 2-2. Well, in the situation of the Buffaloes, it's win or go home tonight. Fighters have a couple of more chances to have to put the Buffaloes away if need be. As the right-hander kicks and delivers, there's a breaking ball swung on. It is lifted into left center field. Both Mizutani and Matsumoto converge on it, but it's going to be Matsumoto who hauls it in, and that is going to do it as Nakagawa is going to be gone for the third out of the inning. Well, the Buffaloes go quietly and in order. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. Looks like we may have ourselves a pitching change as the manager, Kishida, is on his way to talk to the home plate umpire. It looks like we're going to have Aaron Curry coming into the ballgame. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be back in just a little bit. It is the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel pitching change when we return. It is over for Hiroya Miyagi tonight, and in comes the righty Aaron Curry. We'll see what he can do in just a few. Welcome back, everybody. Our friend God is Great is in the house tonight, and we appreciate you for stopping by. He says he's in the house from stormy Japan. We do have a pitching change as the Buffaloes are going to the veteran right-hander Aaron Curry, who is coming in here in relief of Hiroya Miyagi, who was, for the most part, disappointingly ineffective in his 3 innings of work. He allowed 3 runs, and even though he did strike out 5 batters, he was not exactly the sharpest Miyagi that we had seen. So we'll see what happens here. Our friend the hobbyist is still with us, which is good to see. Can't quite put him to sleep yet. This game's far too entertaining, as he is hanging in here with us, which would be at about 2:15 on the East Coast. Here comes the first pitch from Curry. It's a fastball swung on and grounded foul over on the third base side. Count is 0-1. One thing with Aaron Curry is that not exactly a power arm. He is a pitch-to-contact type of pitcher. He does induce a lot of weak contact. So if you're looking for somebody to come in with a power plus arm, this is not your guy. So here comes the 0-1 pitch. But he does have a lot of movement on his fastball and his off-speed pitches. There's a sinker that swung on and missed. The count's 0-2. 4-3 is your score here between the Buffaloes and the Fighters, with the Buffaloes out in front. It is still 5-5 in Yokohama between the Bay Stars and the Giants. All the runs in that game came in the first inning for both teams. And a wild first inning. There's a breaking ball that misses down. Count goes to 1-2 on Mizutani. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. As we mentioned before, should this go to another game tomorrow night, we will be here for it all. Hopefully you guys can join us as well. Here's the pitch. It's a breaking ball swung on. It is hammered on 1 hop, and it is going to get through the shortstop, Kirbiashi, as he fell to the ground to try to do a wild backhand on it. I don't know if they're going to rule that as an error or if they're going to give him a base hit to Mizutani. Either way, we'll wait to see what the scorer has to say. That ball was absolutely scorched. It might have been it's not an ordinary effort in my eyes. That ball took a wicked hop. Almost took the head off of the shortstop. So Mizutani's aboard with a leadoff something. As I say, I think it's going to be a base hit. And that is going to bring Tatsuki Mizuno to the plate. We'll give it the official scoring as soon as it's available. Mizuno 0 for 3 in last night's game, 0 for 1 tonight. Bounced into a fielder's choice. As the right-hander Curry delivers, it's a breaking ball swung on, popped up into shallow left field. Coming hard is Nakagawa toward the foul line, and he makes the catch. And that is going to retire Mizuno with 1 pitch. That's exactly what Curry needed. So that's going to bring the top of the order in Chusei Minami to the plate. Always have to be worried when you're facing Minami with runners on base. He's got the ability to turn around every and any pitcher in the league. A bit of a freak athlete is Minami. As we said, he made a heck of a play in right field with Kenya Wakatsuki when Wakatsuki had doubled. I wonder if he would have barehanded it and threw it if they would have had an actual closer play. He had taken it with the glove and had to make the exchange. Here's the first pitch. It's a fastball that misses down and in, and the count is 1-0. That was a couple innings ago when Wakatsuki in the third inning hit the double to get the party started for the Buffaloes in that 3-run inning. So 1 ball and no strikes. Minami 0 for 2 tonight. He has struck out and flown to center. More action in the Fighters bullpen, as they may be turning it over to their pen as well. There's a fastball swung on and it's grounded foul over on the third base side. The count runs even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Again, leaning in is the right-hander Curry getting his sign. Interesting the way that he does the bill of his cap. It's rather old school. He really has it's not a flat cap. He's got quite the bend in it. As that breaking ball misses down and away, count goes to 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Manager for the Buffaloes, Mamoru Kishida, in his first year. One-time pitcher for the club. It was all about the pitching staff, was their pitching coach over the last couple of years. So moving his way, he's been pretty much a lifetime Buffalo, has been Kishida. Began his career with the Buffaloes in 2006, retired as a player in 2019, stepped right into the role as the pitching coach for 5 seasons, and now he's the manager. Had a career record of 44-30 in his Buffalo career. That's a lifer for sure. There's a breaking ball that misses down. They appeal over to the first base umpire, but they say Manami didn't go. It runs the count now to 3-1. You think about it, from 2006 to now, it's a 20-year career, all with the same franchise. They must think a lot of him as a player and as a person. And just to confirm, that was a hit for Mizutani. That was his second of the night. No error. There's a breaking ball that Curry takes something off of and has Manami way out in front, and that runs the count now full to 3-2. Actually, check that. That was a split finger pitch. That pitch looked like it was very much like a 12-6 breaking ball. The way it had fallen off the table, it would have made Greg Olson of the Baltimore Orioles years ago proud. Just the way that thing had tumbled. But indeed was a split finger. Well, here comes the 3-2 pitch. As the right-hander now kicks and delivers, there's a breaking ball that misses down. It's going to be ball 4. Well, now they got runners at first and second. It's going to bring Go Matsumoto to the plate. Matsumoto tonight has struck out both times he's come to the plate, but those appearances were against Toroya Miyagi. So the score here is 4-3, 5-5 in the bottom of the 4th inning between the Giants and the Bay Stars. They've caught up to us in terms of the timing of the game. Looks like both the starting pitchers. I'll have to make a change on that one. The starting pitcher, Togo, looks like he is still in the ball game. Or is it not? No, it's Nishidati who's now in the game. So Togo is the new pitcher over there, and the thrower is Ishida for the Bay Stars. So Jackson's day is done as well. There's a breaking ball swung on. It is looped softly over to short, and it is caught by the shortstop, Kobayashi. Matsumoto's going to be gone. Everybody had to freeze and return to their base. Good base running there by Mizutani and Manami. And that is going to bring Franmil Reyes to the plate with 2 on and 2 out. So I guess the big question is, are you going to pitch to him? I do. But are you going to pitch to him and give him anything good to hit? And that might be the bigger question. Trying to do some weak contact. Don't give him anything good to hit. But then you've got one of the hottest hitters coming up behind him in Yuya Gunji. I have to tell you, the torpedo bat in the hand of Franmil Reyes looks very weird. Very, very strange. He really waggles it. Here's the pitch. And it's a fastball that comes inside and knocks him off the plate. And the count is 1-0. Reyes tonight on base twice with a walk and a single. 3 for 4 in the series. Fighters looking to pull even with the Buffaloes, as the Buffaloes are enjoying this 1-run lead. Curry gets the sign. He works himself to the belt. Here comes the 1-0. Pitch on the way. Oh, a nice splitter. Locked up Reyes. Count goes even at 1-1. I'm assuming it's a splitter. I have to look to see if it was that or a breaking ball, but just the depth of the pitch, like it was the last time, signals to me that was a splitty. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Again, the right-hander works himself to the belt. Kicks and delivers. It's a changeup that misses down and in, and the count goes to 2-1 on Reyes. So 2 balls and a strike. Manami Runner at first, Mizutani, the runner at second. Reyes taps both sides of the plate, waggles the bat, waiting here on the offering from Curry. He's ahead in the count 2-1. Curry works himself to the belt and the pitch. Breaking ball misses inside, and the count now goes to 3-1 on Reyes. Pretty much the way I would think about it. If you're going to let somebody beat you, it's going to have to be Gunji. I don't know if I want Reyes beating me here. You can pitch around him. You have the open base. But then Gunji's going to have to deliver yet again for the Fighters, which he's been doing so far in this series. Here's the 3-1. Breaking ball swung on and hammered foul over by the photography section where all the cameramen, the media are. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Our Filipino friend is in the house. He says this game is more interesting compared to yesterday's beating. I don't know if it was a beating yesterday. It was as much as it was a inefficient offensive performance by the Buffaloes. Only 4 hits by the Buffs. They really didn't generate any offense or string anything together at all. Whereas tonight's ball game here is a little bit of everything. So 3 balls and 2 strikes to Reyes. I think, again, he's getting a full diet of slop getting thrown up to the plate at him here. But certainly the other game, the 5-5 ball game, I would have not called that. If you took the over, you got that one right in the first inning and probably for the game as well. Pretty crazy. Here's the 3-2. Breaking ball misses inside. It's going to be ball 4, and Reyes is aboard for the 3rd time tonight. He gets a walk. Manami advances to second. Mizutani over to third, and that's going to bring Yuya Gunji to the plate with the bases full and 2 out. It was homers galore in the first inning there in Yokohama. Sasaki hit his first homer of the playoffs, and then it was followed up by Nakayama's first home run, a 3-run shot off of Andre Jackson. Baseballers responded with a 2-run homer off the bat of Kaida Sano, and then Ishigami smoked a 3-run homer. That is how they ended up at a 5-run apiece score. Soshi Togo also drove in a run in that inning for the Giants, so he did more with the bat than he did with his arm. But the relievers are in. Nishidati is in, and Ishida is in. And they have really settled the ball game down over there. It has been scoreless since that wild first inning. Well, this brings Gunji to the plate as the conference is over on the mound. Curry ready to go again. Bases full of Fighters. 2 gone here in the 4th inning. Curry delivers. Fastball misses low for ball 1, and the count is 1-0 to Gunji. Gunji singled and was hit by a pitch tonight. He scored the 3rd run of the ball game for the Fighters when he was brought home on the bases, or the 2-run triple by Kitaro Kiyomiya. For the series, he is 3 for 4. And the pitch on the way, fastball catches the inside corner for a called strike. Gunji didn't like the call as he buckled his knees. Count goes to 1-1. And upon further review on the replay, you can see why Gunji was in a little bit of pain on that call. You'd think they'd be getting the home calls in Hokkaido. Not on that one, that's for sure. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Gunji waiting here on the offering from Curry, who works himself to the belt. And now the pitch on the way. It's a split-figure pitch swung on, grounded right to third. Mune fields it. He's going to step on the bag himself. That is going to erase Manami. And that is going to do it here for the Fighters in their half of the inning. Well, they threaten, but they don't score. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 3 runners left. Your score, as we are now going to the top half of the 5th inning, it is the Buffaloes with a 4-3 lead. We'll be back in just a few. Appreciate you guys for hanging in here with us on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Right back after this. Welcome back, everybody. We are moving ourselves to the top half of inning number 5, and the Buffaloes are enjoying a 4-3 lead. We're keeping our eyes peeled on the potential for a pitching change as the Buffaloes have put 4 runs up on Koki Kitayama as the cheerleaders are doing their dance. And it does look like we have a pitching change on our hands here as they are going to the bullpen. So both teams have exercised that right. There's going to be number 24, Shoma Kanamura, coming on in relief. He has made 28 appearances during the regular season. He has a 2.93 ERA. So the pitching parade for both teams is in full swing. So Shoma Kanamura on in relief of the starter Koki Kitayama. Well, if I had to say the needle to the bullpen would go in my favor to the Fighters. That's a bit of a wild card when you have a starting pitcher with the likes of Aaron Curry in the game. Curry could get himself on a roll and could really deal here. So I'd be curious to see how this will all play out. I don't think he's going to be a one-inning pony. I think he probably will get settled in and get an opportunity to stretch it out. So it brings Mune, Wakatsuki, and Haruka to the plate in the first pitch fastball at 93, taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1 to Mune. Mune 0 for 1 tonight, 0 for 4 in the series. Batting from the left side against the right-hander. Our friend from Taiwan, or from the Philippines, as there's a fastball taken inside for ball, says, who do you think's got the edge in the Dodger-Brewer matchup? If it was a best-of-5 series, I think I might consider the Brewers. And the reason for that is the Brewers swept the Dodgers this year. There's a fastball swung on, it's grounded softly over to second, fielded by Mizuno. He throws to first, and Mune's gone on a ground out 4-3 for the first out of the inning. So the Brewers won all 3 games in Los Angeles and all 3 games in Milwaukee. So they know how to beat the Dodgers. They've got their number. But I think the longer series, at least in my opinion, favors the Dodgers with their pitching depth. I think the Brewers are going to have to work some magic. But they are a scrappy team, and they have been able to claw and battle under the tutelage of Pat Murphy, as there's a breaking ball that misses down and away, and the count is 1-0 to Kenya Wakatsuki. Wakatsuki doubled his first time up as he hit a ball off the right field wall as the right-hander delivers. Fastball swung on and missed, and the count goes even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. So that's my guess, or at least my thoughts on it. I don't say my guess, but I do believe that that is my viewpoint of how I think that potentially could go. Here's the 1-1. Breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes it is. Again, the right-hander ready to go as slowly rocks into the motion and delivers. Fastball swung on. This ball is lifted down the right field line. Moving over and making the catch is Manami. Wakatsuki going in the same direction he did in the first time, but not as far, as this one's going to be the second out of the inning. That'll bring up the top of the order in Taishi Haruka. Well, for Taishi Haruka, he is a 1 for 2 tonight, 1 for 5 in the series, but it was the diving play in left center field that ended up costing the Buffaloes a pair of runs in the third inning, as there's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is 1-0. And he's been able to keep his feet. Probably would have been able to have at least kept the run in front. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count is 1-1 to Haruka. Buffaloes enjoying a 4-3 lead here in the top of the 5th inning. As the right-hander kicks and delivers, there's a breaking ball swung on and fouled straight back, and the count goes to 1-2. Also curious to see how Shinjo's going to manage his bullpen tonight. They used last night, they went to the bullpen and they used Saito and Tanaka on the back end. Both pitchers didn't really use a whole lot of bullets, but the question is would they use them again tonight? Here's the 1-2. Fastball down. Good stop there by Tamiya. As the ball gets away over on the first baseline, the count is 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Checking in on that action over and keeping tabs on it between the base stars of the Giants, still locked up at 5. Here's the pitch. Fastball swung on. This ball is lined into right field. It's going to get down for a base hit. So Haruka aboard for the second time tonight with a single. And that is going to bring the second baseman Ryo Oda to the plate with 2 gone and a runner at first. Well, that brings to the plate Ryo Oda. Oda has struck out both times he's stepped to the dish tonight. 1 for 6 in the series. As the right-hander Kanemaru delivers a breaking ball that misses upstairs, and the count is 1-0. 1 ball and no strikes. Waggling the bat, waiting on the offering from the right-hander. As he holds to the set now, delivers. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count runs even at 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike it is. Again, the right-hander works to the set. Now he delivers. There's a breaking ball swung on and tap foul over on the first base side. Count goes to 1-2. Just checking our forecast tomorrow, and we got a lot of rain early to the mid part of the day, and then it clears up, and then it's supposed to be a nice evening the rest of the way. We're just going to have to wait and see how everything shapes up here. Nothing like watching the forecast. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Oda. But that could always change when you live on the coast. The works with the wind and the breeze, you never know. Throw over to first base and diving back in time is the runner the runner Haruka. I wonder if they put him in motion here. You got to think, if you get him thrown out, at least you've got Oda to lead off the next inning. If not, then you've got to go with Kobayashi to lead it off, and you've got nobody for him to potentially knock around. Let's see if they put him in motion here. Here's the 1-2. Well, instead they throw over to first base, and again, diving back safely is the runner. So the Fighters must have the same scouting report we do. Haruka, a threat to run in this situation. He establishes his lead. Kanemaru checks the runner. He works himself to the belt. Here comes the 1-2. Pitch on the way. Breaking ball swung on, grounded over to third. They're going to go to second for the fielder's choice, and that is going to do it as Haruka is erased 5-4 to end the inning. And that is going to do it here for the Buffaloes in their half of inning number 5. No runs in the inning. There was a hit, no errors, and there was a runner left aboard. We are now halfway through this ball game. Aaron Curry coming back out for his second inning of work. And it is the Buffaloes 4 and the Fighters 3. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be back in just a few.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city, San Diego, baby. I'll take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's another Hollis build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Welcome back, everybody. We are moving ourselves to the bottom half of inning number 5 as Curry has just completed his tune-up tosses. It's going to be Kiyomiya, Yamagata, and Tamiya to come to bat here in the bottom half of inning number 5. And striding to the plate, Kiyomiya, he is 1 for 2 tonight. He had a triple and knocked in a pair of runs his last time up. And so he is stepping to the dish here. So Kiyomiya coming to the dish. He is 1 for 5 in the series, but that big blow, as we mentioned in the 3rd inning to bring the Fighters back to within 1, takes a first pitch breaking ball for a called strike. The count is quickly 0-1. They're going to need Curry to settle down. 21 pitches in his first inning of work. Be curious to see exactly how long a leash that they would have him for. Would they let him ride it right out to the end? Fastball misses inside, and the count goes even to 1-1. I say that because you think of how some of the pitching has been managed in Major League Baseball, or at least the beliefs of some of the pitching in Major League Baseball. I mean, you go with the guys who get you there. Sometimes I think people outmanage themselves or they think they're too smart. As there's a breaking ball that misses outside, the count goes to 2-1. Thinking about all this stuff with the spin rates and whatever the arguments that they want to talk about. Pitchers on the mound dealing, let them deal. There's a breaking ball that catches the inside corner, and the count goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. So Kiyomiya waggling his bat. Curry holding to the set. Here's the pitch. There's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count goes to 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. It's not been economical for either of these 2 starters, or these 2 Buffalo pitchers. Miyagi, he was up around 60 some odd pitches in his 3 innings of work, as now Kiyomiya has asked for time. He felt that Curry was working a little too quickly. So 3 balls and 2 strikes it is. I'm curious to see what offseason moves the Buffaloes would make. They're going to have to, if they want to keep up with the Hawks, they're going to have to get some arms. Fastball swung on, grounded over to second, fielded neatly by the second baseman Oda, who throws to first, and Kiyomiya's gone on a ground out 4-3 for the first out of the inning. We're talking a little bit last night of saying, if the Fighters go through, they have a chance against the Hawks. You think of the Hawks, they had 4 players that were in double-digit wins, 4 starters, I should say. 4 starters in double-digit wins, and then you think about it, Carter Stewart missed pretty much the whole year with some arm issues. So this is going to bring Yamagata to the plate, who's 1 for 2 tonight. First pitch is a breaking ball that misses upstairs for a ball. The count's 1-0. Yamagata singled and scored a run in the second inning. Struck out in the third. As the right-hander kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball swung on. This ball is lifted foul well into the seats down the left field line. And the count goes even at 1-1. One of our listeners earlier said about the park in Hokkaido, it's absolutely stunningly beautiful. They put a lot of money into this place, and it is a modern work of art. Although I have to say, I do like the stadium in Hiroshima. Fastball swung on and popped foul into the seats behind home plate. The count goes to 1-2. I've been to what is it, 8 of the 13 stadiums. I say 13 because you've got the Kyocera Dome in Buffalo, and then you've got Hotomoto Field in Kobe, where the Buffaloes will split time on. So basically 12 NPB teams with 13 stadiums. As the pitch is on the way, it is a split finger pitch, swung on and missed, and that is going to do it as Yamagata is gone on strikes for the second out of the inning. And that'll bring up the catcher in Yua Tamiya. So maybe this is what they needed. Maybe Aaron Curry settles it right down here. That pitch there just fell right off the table. Looks like it's going to be a steady diet of splitters coming out of Aaron Curry's hand here tonight for the Fighters. So we'll see how they deal with this. So the right-hander Curry ready to go again as Tamiya digs himself in. First pitch on the way, taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. Tamiya 0 for 1 officially tonight. He has grounded to second. He also had a sacrifice bunt. After this half inning, this is where we like to call it the Japanese halftime. They'll take the extended break, and we will take a break ourselves. Here's the 0-1. Split finger pitch swung on, grounded over to second, fielded by Oda, throws to first, inning over, as Tamiya is gone for out number 3. Well, that is 4 in a row now retired by Curry since he's come into the ball game, as he has steadied the ship. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board here in the 5th. Your score is 4-3 for the Buffaloes as we go to the top of the 6th inning. As we mentioned, everybody, it is what we call Japanese halftime. We are going to take our break, and we'll be back after this timeout. It is a 4-3 ball game for the Buffaloes as we move to the top of the sixth. We'll be back in just a couple moments with all the action right after this timeout. Welcome back, everybody. The reliever Kanamura is just completing his tune-up tosses, and we'll be ready to resume the action in just a few moments. We'll be right back after this timeout. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be Kotaro Kobayashi, Atara Sugimoto, and Yuma Tongu to face the righty Kanamura. And the first pitch delivered to Kobayashi is lined into right center field. It's going to get down for a base hit. So Kobayashi gets the sixth inning going with a leadoff single. And that is going to bring the right fielder Yataro Sugimoto to the plate. Well, for Sugimoto, he had delivered a big blow in inning number 2. As he got the scoring going for the Buffaloes, it was a solo shot to lead off the inning off the starter Koki Kitayama. His first of the postseason. Sugimoto is 2 for 5 in these short couple of games in the playoffs. He was 1 for 3 in a walk last night, and he's got a homer to his name tonight. Here's the pitch. Fastball comes inside, and it has hit him. Oh, did it get him on the wrist, or did it get him at the end of the... He's laying down flat on his back. And Sugimoto is in a whole host of pain. It's a tough spot. He may be fortunate depending upon where he got hit. If he got hit a little lower, you always got to worry about the wrist area. But he is going to get up and he's going to go straight to the locker room. They're going to have to examine Sugimoto. He is in a whole host of pain here. The trainer is going to take him down. When I see that, I remember when it was Albert Pujols when he was making a play at first base when he got hit. Sugimoto is not feeling too good here. We're going to wait to see how that shapes up. And also curious to see who they would replace in the outfield. He is going right down. That's traditionally what they do, is they take him down into the locker room and have a look at him. It was on his non-throwing hand. We'll get a look at the replay of this. Fastball came up and in. I don't think it got him on the fingers. We're going to look here. It looked like it got him on the forearm flush. Oh, boy. You could see as soon as he got hit, there was a whole host of pain. He couldn't hold up. Oy. Well, here's hoping that's not broken for Sugimoto. The way that he was hit, and it was instantly he was in a whole host of pain. You could see the muscles in the forearm, the way they contracted. We're going to wait to see here what they have to say. Or if they're going to get themselves, they are kind of scurrying in the dugout to get somebody ready, or at least make sure they're stretched out because they're going to have to run for him. But that would be a major blow in the Buffalo lineup if they lost Sugimoto. That wouldn't be a whole lot of fun. I was thinking of when the Buffaloes made that back-to-back-to-back runs to the Japan series, they obviously played the Tigers, they played the Swallows a couple of times. And just thinking about how the series went with Sugimoto in the lineup with Masataka Yoshida, that was pretty much a powerful 1-2 punch they were packing. And then when Yoshida left, basically that was the first shoe to fall before Yoshinobu Yamamoto left. But when he left, Yuma Tongu was able to pump up some numbers that really replaced Yoshida in a lot of ways. I mean, it's hard to replicate, hard to replace a Masataka Yoshida in your lineup. We're still waiting here, as on deck it's Yuma Tongu who has moved in, but we're waiting for the return of Sugimoto. Umpires, I'm sure, will give him the moment that he needs to make that final decision. And it looks like the manager, Kishida, what is he doing? He has come back up, but we don't know if the player himself, Sugimoto, is coming back in. If they did, would they put some bandages on his arm? We're about to find out, because it is going to be Sugimoto coming in, and he does have a bandage on his arm. So he gets a round of applause from the Buffalo faithful who have made the journey as he makes his way over to first base, and he gets a good round of applause from the home team as well. So Sugimoto, who is hit by the pitch, that puts runners at first and second with nobody out. Kobayashi is the runner at second. Yuma Tongu will come to the plate here. He's 0 for 2 tonight. Definitely not a bunt situation for Tongu. Interesting, they put this black, almost compression piece on his forearm. I wonder if they put ice or if they put something in there that would maybe help control the swelling. Tongu 0 for 2 tonight, gets his first start in the series. A little surprised he wasn't in the lineup last night, the captain of the Buffaloes. As they do an inside spaghetti move and they chase the runner, Kobayashi, back to second base. So in getting the sign as he works himself to the belt, as he checks the runner at second, and now he pitches. It's a fastball that's taken for a called strike, and the count is quickly 0-1 to Tongu. Tongu locked up on that pitch. Right down Broadway. And again, the right-hander getting his signs from his catcher, Tamiya. Tough situation here for the Fighters. They allowed the first two hitters to get on, a base hit and a hit batter, and now they've got to try to wiggle themselves out of this jam. Here comes the 0-1. That's a breaking ball swung on it, is lifted into deep right field. Manami fields it. Tagging at second is Kobayashi, but he's going to retreat back to the base. The arm of Manami was ready to be on full display. Tongu hit the ball right to him on the screws, but unable to advance the runner, and that is going to bring up the designated hitter in Masahiro Nishino. Well, for Nishino, he's 0 for 2 tonight. He is grounded to second and grounded to first as he comes to the plate here. Batting from the left side against the right-handed throwing Kanamura. Right-hander against the left-hander as Kanamura works himself to the belt. Checks the runner at second. Pitch on the way. Split finger pitch swung on and missed, and the count is quickly 0-1 to Nishino. Still no other updates in that game between the Giants and the Bay Stars. As they are moving to the bottom of the sixth inning. Amazing, that game. We were so far ahead of them. And now they are ahead of us, as they are just about two outs further ahead now than where we are at. And the pitching had to really settle down once the starters were chased. Pitch missed in the dirt to Nishino. It's 1-1 here. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Right-hander Kanemaru getting the sign, nodding in agreement with his catcher. And the 1-1 ready to come. Now he kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball swung on and lifted foul down the left field line. Count goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Fighters and Buffaloes locked up in a gem of a game. Buffaloes trying to break it apart here, as they've got 2 on and 1 gone here in the inning. Kanemaru checks the runner at second. Checks him again. Here comes the offering. Pitch on the way. Fastball misses up and away, and the count now goes to 2-2 on Nishino. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Again, the right-hander working himself to the set position. Checks the runner at second. Checks him again. Now kicks and fires. Breaking ball swung on and fouled away. Oh, I thought he was going to get strike 3 there, but Nishino just able to fight it off. And keeps the count even at 2-2. Lots of breaking balls flying in here. Nishino had fouled that one right off into his shin guard. He was way out in front. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Kanemaru again getting the sign from his catcher. And he's ready to go back at it again. As the righty delivers, it's a breaking ball that misses way outside. Count now goes to 3-2. In jeopardy of loading the bases here. Kaita Nakagawa waiting his turn on deck. Fighter right-hander trying to wiggle his way out. If you had just joined us, it's been a bit of a seesaw affair through the first 3 innings of this game, and things have settled down in the 4th. There's a pitch. It's a breaking ball taken for a called 3rd strike. Oh, Nishino, I'm not sure what he was looking at. That ball dropped right in at the heart of the plate, and he is gone for the 2nd out of the inning. That was a clutch pitch there by Kanemaru, and now it looks like we may have time here. As it looks like the big boss is going out to have a word with the home plate umpire. We may have a pitching change here as Kaita Nakagawa is coming to the plate. But what a pitch. That was a split finger pitch. Just locked up the hitter. Nishino gone for the 2nd out of the inning. And that is going to leave it up to Nakagawa. But we're going to have ourselves a pitching change, and we're going to take a little time out here. Runners at 1st and 2nd, 2 gone, top of the 6th. We'll be right back after this timeout. Welcome back, everybody. The right-hander Taisho Tamai coming into the ball game. He had 40 appearances for the Fighters. The 33-year-old veteran right-hander coming on in relief. He's been a veteran of the ball club since the 2017 season. The 33-year-old making his first appearance here in the 2025 playoffs, and he will be entrusted to try to retire Kaida Nakagawa. Well, for Nakagawa, he is due. He's 0 for 2 tonight. He has flown to center both times. 0 for 4 in last night's game. He has been one of the more consistent hitters in the Buffaloes lineup over the last couple of seasons. But he has yet to make his mark here in the playoffs. Runners are at first and second. Kirbayashi is the runner at second. Sugimoto, the runner at first. Everything got going here early as the first two runners got on base, but a fly out by Tongu and a strikeout called looking on Nishino has put 2 outs on the board here for the Buffaloes. So the right-hander on in relief as Tamai trying to close the deal here and pick up his teammate Kanamura. And the first pitch on the way, it is a breaking ball that misses down and away, and the count is 1-0 to Nakagawa. So 1 ball and no strikes. Right-hander Tamai. Rather low 3-quarter, almost sidearm type of delivery. He's got a lot of movement on the ball from right to left. Little different look than what Kanamura was offering. As the 1-0 pitch is coming, they've set him up outside. As the right-hander delivers, there's a breaking ball swung on. It's grounded right back to the pitcher Tamai, and he comes in and does his job on 2 pitches. It's a ground out 1-3 for the third out of the inning, and that will do it here for the Buffaloes in their half of the 6th. They threaten, but they don't score. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 2 runners left aboard. Your score as we move to the bottom half of inning number 6. It is the Buffaloes 4 and the Fighters 3. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be back in just a few with all the action right after this timeout. Welcome back, everybody. Our friend Nick in the house again tonight, and he has asked us if he missed our thoughts on the Dodgers and Brewers. My thoughts is that the longer series, I just have to say, I think it's got to favor the Dodgers. The Brewers did sweep the season series from Los Angeles. They won 3 in Milwaukee and 3 in Los Angeles, but I don't think it's going to be the same scenario in the playoffs, that's for certain. I think a shorter playoff series probably would have favored the Brewers, at least in my opinion. Get a chance to steal a win or 2 quickly, and it could be lights out for the Dodgers in a hurry. But I do think the Dodgers are still the team to beat, and that is for certain. In the American League, I'm not partial to either of the 2 teams. I get to see the Mariners far more than I do the Blue Jays. And so way more familiar with the club. I really like the Mariners pitching staff. Certainly the starters, their back end is pretty good with Matt Brash and the closer as well, Munoz. But realistically speaking, the Blue Jays starters and their offense, they've really been playing good baseball for the last couple of months. So that's going to be a fun series to watch. I probably would give the edge to the Blue Jays in that one. Los Angeles and Toronto World Series. Buckle up. Here we come. Well, the first pitch delivered to Mizutani is a breaking ball swung on and is lined to Yumamune, who slides to his left to make the catch. And Mizutani, who has 2 hits tonight, is going to feel a little snake bitten on that one. As with 1 pitch, there is 1 away here to start the 6th inning. And that is going to bring up the second baseman in Tetsuki Mizuno. It's the 8, 9, and 1 hitters here in the order that are coming to bat to face Aaron Curry. who has come on to work in relief here of the starter Hiroya Miyagi, is beginning his third inning. As the first pitch is on the way, it's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. The hobby is still with us. Man, when you said you couldn't sleep, we couldn't do our part to put you to rest. But yeah, I was in Taiwan for the last part of August and the first week of September. And I'll be heading back to Taiwan on the 15th of December. There's a breaking ball swung on it, breaks the bat. It's grounded up the middle, and it's going to have eyes as it gets through everybody into center field. So Mizuno is going to be aboard with a one-out single. And that'll bring up the top of the order in Chusei Manami. So yeah, I'm going to be heading back to Taiwan. I'll have 2 layovers in Taiwan. And I will be on my way to Vietnam for 3 weeks. So we're going to have a 3-week stay in Vietnam. Looking forward to that part of the world. One thing I got to do is I got to go get my malaria pills so that we don't end up getting something that we don't want. Got to stay away from those mosquitoes, that is for sure. Well, that brings Chusei Manami to the plate. He is 0 for 2. He has struck out and flown to center. And he has also drawn a walk. Nick says, what were your favorite foods when you were in Taiwan? I'll have to give you some thought on that, Nick. As the first pitch is on the way, it's a fastball that misses down, and the count is 1-0. There still are some Japanese areas. You can get a lot of ramen in Taiwan, at least in Taipei City. And I was really fascinated by that. I can't, the Taiwanese food, a lot, for me at least, the fresh fruits, vegetables were pretty cool. I like to drink guava juice here. We get like a red guava that comes out of Latin America, as time has been called by Manami. But I would probably say the food that I particularly enjoyed, they tried their white guava, which was kind of neat. I always get a good kick out of the shaved ice in those parts of the world. That's always good to have. There's a fastball swung on it, is grounded. It's going to get through the 6-hole into left field, and Mizuno is going to stop at second. Manami's got himself a base hit single here, and that's the second time tonight he's reached base. And it looks like we're going to have a pinch hitter for Go Matsumoto as Ariel Martinez has grabbed the bat and come off the bench. So Ariel Martinez to hit for Matsumoto. And he is coming up into a situation where it is a big time at bat. And so who else would you want to turn to was Martinez. I have to say, I didn't see a lot of Martinez this year, as the time has been called, as the pitching coach has made his way out to talk to Curry. He gets some encouragement, and now their infield is talking it over a little bit here as the umpire has finally come in to break up the conference. I would say probably, Nick, the Xiaolong Bao would be the most interesting food that I had. That would, of course, would be like the soup dumplings. So you get it in a steamed bamboo basket. So that was good. I had some hot and sour soup when I was there. That was good as well. So those would have been the ones that I probably would have been more partial to. The first pitch from Curry is a split finger pitch and misses down to Martinez. Good job by Martinez to hold up. Count is 1-0. Hobbyist said he slept through the 4th and the 5th innings. I think the two teams did as well. All the scoring has come in the first 3 innings of the game, and it has quieted down since then. So runner at second base is Mizuno. Runner at first is Manami. Pitch on the way is a fastball missing down, and the count's 2-0 to Ariel Martinez. Martinez is a double play candidate. He doesn't run particularly well, so if they can induce something soft and slow to get rolled over, there's a good chance with something on the ground he could get rolled up into 2. Franmil Reyes waiting his turn on deck, and certainly Aaron Curry would like to avoid having to face Reyes with the bases loaded. Here's a breaking ball swung on. It is lifted into deep left field. Moving back, just in front of the warning track is Nakagawa, and he makes the catch. And all the runners are going to retreat to their bases. Martinez sent it for a ride. He just couldn't get enough of it. He just got a little underneath it. And he's gone for the second out of the inning, and that brings Franmil Reyes to the plate with 2 on and 2 out. Well, for Reyes tonight, he has been on base every time he's come to bat. He's officially 1 for 1. He has scored a run, and he has walked twice. He is 3 for 4 in the series, and 5 for 6 having reached base. So Reyes is enjoying himself. I don't, as I said before, we were talking about it a little bit about it last night. I don't know how long the Fires have him locked up for, if he's just on a 1 year again. But I think I want to revisit. He has been very, very good for the Fighters. There's a fastball that is swung on and hooked foul down the left field line. The left field line umpire raises his hands, signals that that was a foul ball. The ball was absolutely blistered. So no ball and 1 strike to Reyes. Reyes adjusts his helmet, steps back into the plate, and he's ready to get the second offering from Curry. Whatever that pitch was, don't throw it again. Still 5-5 in the top of the 7th inning between the Giants and the Bay Stars. All the runs coming in inning number 1. There's a fastball that catches the outside corner at the knees. Reyes didn't like the call, and the count now goes to 0-2. We'll get a look at the replay. Actually, I have to say the pitch didn't look all that bad. So no balls and 2 strikes to the big fella. Again, the right-hander leans in, getting the sign. The Franimal waggling the bat. And the pitch on the way. It is a breaking ball swung on. It is lifted into deep right field. This ball could be trouble. Back on the warning track and making the catch is Sugimoto. And that is going to do it here. Reyes sent it a long way, just not long enough. And that will do it for out number 3. So for the Buffalo fans, a big scare. There was no runs in the inning. There was a pair of hits. There was no errors and 2 runners left aboard. The big boss is coming out. 2/3 of the game is in the books. That means we're probably going to see another pitching change. But hang tight, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple of moments on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Appreciate you for listening in. We'll be right back after this timeout. Your score is the Buffaloes 4 and the Fighters 3. We'll be back in just a moment after this. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the 8, 9, and 1 hitters to come to bat in the 7th inning. As it is going to be Yuba Mune, Kenya Wakatsuki in the top of the order, and Taisi Haruka. We're looking to see where the change is, as Go Matsumoto had been pinch hit for by Ariel Martinez. We are expecting that there will be a change. My guess, it could be Ryo Isabata coming in defensively. But we're going to wait to see exactly how this shapes up. They do have a left-hander coming into the game, do the Fighters, as they have replaced Tamai. It is going to be Kenta Uehara, who is coming into the game, he had 27 regular season appearances, pitching to a 1.11 ERA. So he has completed his tune-up tosses, has the lefty. So Uehara ready to take over here to have to face the 8, 9, and 1 hitters. Mune steps into the plate 0 for 2 tonight. He's grounded to first and grounded to second in his 2 trips. And he takes a first pitch fastball over for a called strike. The count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. Our friend the hobbyist asks the question, what do we think of banana ball? Actually, I don't. Breaking ball waved at and missed. The count is 0-2. It's not really my thing. It's very popular. It's sweeping the nation in the United States, that's for sure. A lot of places, a lot of sellout crowds. Savannah bananas are a big deal. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Uehara double clutches, delivers, and it is chopped back to the pitcher. Uehara fields it and he throws to first, and that is going to be a ground out. It is going to go into the books as a 1-3 putout for the first out of the inning. As Mune tapped it softly back, that'll bring up the catcher in Kenya Wakatsuki. So Wakatsuki coming to the plate 1 for 2 tonight. He doubled with 1 out in the 3rd inning, which set the table for the 3-run homer off the bat of Kotaro Kobayashi. So he is waiting on the first pitch. It is a fastball swung on. It is popped up foul over on the first base side. It's playable in foul territory. And Kiyomiya is going to haul it in. And so we've got 2 quick outs here to start the 7th inning. Our friend the hobbyist who asked the question there, hopefully he can stick around for the half-inning break here, as I don't think you've been entertained with our version of Take Me Out to the Ball Game. We'll serenade you with that. That's going to bring up Taisi Haruka to the plate. He is 2 for 3 today. He's got a pair of singles. Also had the ball that he butchered in the outfield that ended up costing the Buffaloes a couple of runs. There was a fastball taken for a called strike. Count is 0-1. It's a bit harsh in a way to say that because he dove and missed the ball. If he would have been able to keep it in front of him, probably only 1 run would have scored. As there's a breaking ball taken for a called strike, the count's 0-2. But it's a spot in the ball game here that has brought the Fighters to within a run. That's a run that they probably could have done without. So here comes the 0-2 pitch as the lefty Uehara holds set again. Now he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on. It is lifted into shallow left field. Coming in and making the catch on the run is Mizutani. And that is going to do it, as that is going to be the 3rd out of the inning. And the Buffaloes go quietly yet again here in the 7th. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We are now moving to the bottom half of inning number 7. And we'll entertain you with a little bit of Take Me Out to the Ball Game. We'll be back after this. Welcome back, everybody. We're skipping along to the bottom half of inning number 7, and it is slated to come to bat Yuya Gunji, Kataro Kiyomiya, and Shu Yamagata. As Aaron Curry had come in the 4th inning, and he has settled the game down for the Buffaloes. He has done his job here nicely tonight. Our Filipino friend makes a good comment. I was actually thinking about that when the question was asked. And he points out, he says, when he thinks of banana ball, he thinks of the baseball's version of the Harlem Globetrotters, what they are to basketball. That's a very good analysis. And at the end of the day, I have to say, it's, at least in my opinion, something that if it gets people interested and if it introduces them to baseball and they want to venture further to that, I think it can't be a bad thing. It's just not my thing. So Aaron Curry, at 44 pitches in his 3 innings of work, delivers a first pitch, split finger pitch that drops in for a called strike to Yuya Gunji. Gunji tonight is reached base all 3 times he's come to bat. He bounced into a fielder's choice. He was hit by a pitch and he singled. So officially 1 for 2. He's also scored a run. And he is 3 for 5 in the series. There's a breaking ball that misses down and away and squirts all the way to the backstop. Hobbyist says he likes the Japanese numbers, which are the same as Chinese. Well, the good news is I'll be able to count to 3 in both of those languages. And the hobbyist also said he agrees with our Filipino friend who makes that analysis about banana ball. There's a fastball that misses down, and the count is 2-1. So 2 balls and a strike. And I certainly think that that's a fair assessment as well. You look at the banana ball and the rage that it has across the country. It's tip your hat to them. There's a split finger pitch that drops in for a called strike, and the count is now 2-2 to Gunji. You know, they're selling out literally major league stadiums, and they announced for next year where they're going to be performing already. They've announced where their stadiums are at and where they're going to be. So good on them. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. As Curry ready to deliver, kicks and fires. Split finger pitch swung on and chopped foul over on the third base side. Count remains at 2-2 to Gunji. Gunji's been a tough out, not just last night, but tonight. His first at bat against Hiroya Miyagi took him to 10 pitches before collecting a single. And he was hit by the pitch in his second plate appearance. And he bounced into a fielder's choice to end the 4th, but he has been a thorn in the side of the Buffaloes. As a reminder, Buffaloes get a win tonight, and we will be back on the airwaves again tomorrow with the same 2 clubs. If the Buffaloes lose tonight, this series is over, and then we'll have to wait and see about the Giants and the Bay Stars. There's a split finger pitch that swung on and missed. It's in the dirt. They're going to have to throw him out at first. It's going to go as a strikeout, 2-3 on the putout. Gunji gone for the first out of the inning, and it'll bring up the first baseman in Kataro Kiyomiya. Our friend the hobbyist says they're coming to Knoxville next year, and they were in Nashville this year. I was interested at some of the stadiums that they're going to. I mean, they were in at T-Mobile Park in Seattle, I believe in September. As the first pitch is on the way, there's a breaking ball taken for a called strike, and they had a huge attendance there. But they're also going to stadiums that are non-traditional baseball stadiums. For some reason, I want to say, I don't think it's the Cotton Bowl, but somewhere down in Texas and a couple of places where you don't think of baseball, where you can put a good crowd in to see an event. Here comes the 0-1 pitch, and it's a fastball missing down and away. Count goes to 1-1. As a matter of fact, there was a former Japanese player that was playing for the Savannah Bananas, or part of that entertainment, and a pretty good NPB player as well. I can't remember. In fact, I think it might have been one of the fighters. I'd have to go look it up. I'll say Nakano, but here's the 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball misses outside. The count goes to 2-1 on Kiyomiya. As I said, I didn't really pay a whole lot of attention to the Savannah Bananas. The Savannah, it was Kenshi Sugiya. As there's a fastball swung on, is lifted into shallow left field, and that's going to fall in front of Nakagawa. That's going to be a one-out single here for Kiyomiya. He's aboard. It'll bring up the shortstop in Shu Yamagata. So I guess he is the first Japanese player to suit up for the Savannah Bananas. So that brings Yamagata to the plate. He's 1 for 3 tonight. He has a single in his 3 trips. He's also struck out twice. He did score the first run of the ball game for the Fighters. He got the nod at shortstop tonight. And by the looks of it, they're concerned that he may be thinking about dropping a bunt here. As the catcher, Kenya Wakatsuki, goes out and flashes his bunt defense signals to everybody. Our Filipino friend said, isn't Sugiya a former Fighters player? I think he was. I'm not sure if he ended his career with the Fighters. As the pitch is delivered, it is bunted down the first base line, and it's just going to roll foul. Yeah, he was a former fighter for sure. He was an outfielder, second baseman, third baseman. He would be 34 years old. His last time that he suited up in a NPB game would have been in 2022. So 3 years removed from top flight of professional baseball in Japan. Had 12 seasons in the NPB and had almost 1,400 career at-bats. Not much of a batting average, only hit .212. Here's the pitch, and it is bunted and it's down. Curry fields it. His only play is going to be to first. So a good bunt there by Yamagata. Then it's going to be a sacrifice. It's going to go 1-4 in the books. He's gone for out number 2. Kiyomiya advances to second. He's in scoring position. And now it's going to bring up the catcher, Yua Tamiya, to the plate. Sugiya had 115 stolen bases in his in his total career, 50 at the NPB level. Not much home runs, not many RBIs. Looks like he was more of a defensive type of player. And he's not a big guy. He was only 5'7", so that ought to tell you a lot. All you need to know right there. Not known for his power at the plate either. So they've just come out to the mound to have a word with Curry, but the home plate umpire and the second base umpire come in to break it up. There's Kenya Wakatsuki on his way back here. So Curry looking to get himself out of this situation. Curry came on in the 4th inning. He's only had 1-1-2-3 inning. That was in the 5th. But he's been able to wiggle his way around each and every inning. I remember as being a Detroit Tiger fan, there used to be a pitcher for the Tigers, Brian Moeller, in the mid-90s, late 90s, and he was like a magician, always having to wiggle his way out of jams, and this is what it reminds me of here tonight with Curry. There's a fastball swung. This ball's belted down the right field line. If it stays fair, it's going to be trouble, and it's going to just hook foul into the seats. Oh, boy, Tamiya could have given them the lead with that one swing of the bat. But instead, it's a long strike. No balls and 1 strike to Tamiya. He absolutely obliterated it. But he just hooked it foul. So no balls and 1 strike to the catcher's fighter, or the fighter's catcher. Our friend the hobbyist says, I don't want to take any more time on banana ball, but they do have some fun and interesting rules. Yeah, he sounds like a Raphael Belliard. Yeah, it could be. Fastball misses upstairs and the count goes even to 1-1. It's definitely an interesting thing. And as I say, if it brings more people to the sport in different ways, then that is not a bad thing. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Uetamiya. 0 for 2 tonight. Runner at second is Kiyomiya, and he's looking to try to drive him into even the score up at 4. Pitch on the way. Breaking ball swung on and missed. Oh boy. 1 ball and 2 strikes it was. I say breaking ball. I got to take a look at it again. That was actually a split finger pitch. As I say, it's got that downward movement of a 12-6 delivery. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Our friend Nick earlier had asked about other foods, and I was saying about there's still a Japanese influence in a lot of places in Taipei City. There's some Japanese neighborhood. There's tons of ramen places that were around. We were talking a little bit about the food earlier on. But probably one of the more interesting things that I had was coconut shrimp, and they had mayonnaise covered in sprinkles. And when you think of the sprinkles would be like on a cupcake, and it was good. I would have never thought that would be the case. So 1 ball and 2 strikes as Tamiya waits on the pitch from Curry. This is going to be Curry's 60th pitch of the ball game. 1-2 on the way. Delivered. It is a split finger pitch that swung on and grounded foul over on the third base side. The ball boy was unable to come up with that play. It's been an active participant in the game over the last couple of nights, although this was a different ball boy. This one was left-handed. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Tamiya. 2 gone here in the 7th. Runner at second is Kiyomiya. Curry looking to get himself out of the jam and send it to the 8th. As time has been called at the plate. Curry steps off, and Kotaro Kobayashi is going to flash some signs to his right-hander. So 1 ball and 2 strikes it is. Curry works himself to the belt. And the pitch is a split figure pitch that misses down. The count goes to 2-2. Hobbyist asks, who was the pitcher who had the slurve? I'm not sure. Those have been, a lot of these names that have come up over time. The sweeper. When I think of a slurve, I think of a sweeper. What's the difference between a forkball and a split finger pitch? Not much. Pretty much the same pitch. What's the difference between a palm ball and a slip change? Same pitch. And there's a split finger pitch swung on. It's grounded softly to second. Fielded neatly by Oda. He throws to first, and Tamiya is going to be retired on a ground out 4-3. And that is going to do it here for the Fighters in their half of inning number 7. So the free agent signing of Aaron Curry in the offseason paying dividends here tonight. No runs in the inning, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left aboard. We're cruising to the top of the 8th inning. Your score is the Buffaloes 4 and the Fighters 3. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be back in just a few with all the action right after this timeout. We got ourselves a 4-3 ball game, and we'll be back in just a few with all of the action. It is the Fighters and the Buffaloes, 4-3 Buffaloes as we go to the top of the 8th.
Hello, this is Eric Fox, formerly of the Oakland A's and Texas Rangers baseball teams. If you want to learn about Japanese baseball, see Coach Fred with Last Raps Baseball. If you want baseball instruction, see Coach Fred. If you want to learn about golf, do not go to Coach Fred. Fred, what kind of club is this?
At Last Raps Baseball, we know baseball. That's right, everybody. We know baseball, and it is coming to bat for the Buffaloes in their half of the eighth inning. It's going to be Oda, Kobayashi, and Sugimoto. And we're just waiting to see if it is going to be another pitching change for the Fighters, if the parade will continue, or if they're going to let Kenta Uhara continue on in relief. They have used 4 pitchers tonight, have the Fighters. And it's only been 2 pitchers for the Buffaloes, Hiroya Miyagi and Aaron Curry. And Curry has been the one who has kept them in the game. It is still Uhara on the mound as he will begin his second inning of work. He was very, very effective coming on in the last half inning. There was a first pitch fastball that misses outside, and the count is 1-0 to Ryo Oda. Oda 0 for 3 tonight. He has struck out twice, and he has bounced into a fielder's choice. As the pitch on the way is a fastball that's down. It's spiked up to the plate, and the count now goes to 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes it is. I'm pretty sure that the Buffaloes would feel a lot more comfortable if they could scratch themselves another run across the plate. There is a fastball swung on. It is lifted foul. It's going to reach the seats over on the first base side. The count now goes to 2-1 on Oda. Just catching up on the out-of-town scoreboard as that game going on in Yokohama, still locked up at 5s. It's in the top of the 8th. There's a ground ball hit into the deep 4-hole. Oh, what a nice play by Mizuno, ranging into shallow right field. He does a full 360, able to throw at Oda. Oda's going to feel a little heartbroken on that one. A ground out 4-3 to start inning number 8. So 1 in the books, and that is going to bring up the shortstop in Kotaro Kobayashi. Oh, that was a fabulous play. Kind of makes me wonder, too, what the Buffaloes have in mind. I mean, you got to be thinking it's got to be, I would think it's got to be Perdomo and Machado time, one would have to think, in terms of relievers in the 8th and the 9th inning. And the first pitch that missed upstairs to Kobayashi is followed up with a fastball center cut for a called strike, and the count is 1-1. He was taking all the way. So then it makes you wonder who is going to be the starter in tomorrow night's game for the Buffaloes. A fastball taken for a called strike. And now the count goes to 1-2. And if I was guessing, maybe it would be Iwasaki, but I thought Iwasaki came on in relief. And there is a fastball that swung on and fouled away. Count remains at 1-2 to Kobayashi. Or maybe it will be a full-on bullpen type of day. We also were saying they've announced the starters for the Central League. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into deep right field, slicing toward the line, and sliding to make the catch is Manami. Oh, some nice defensive play here by the Fighters in this half of the 8th inning. The first play by the second baseman Mizuno, and now a fine play by Manami as that puts 2 outs here. And that's going to leave it up to the right fielder in Yataro Sugimoto. And for Sugimoto, well, he is officially 1 for 2. And he takes a first pitch outside, and that's for a ball. He has a home run. He's grounded out, and he was hit by a pitch his last time up. He is 2 for 5 in the series. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Hara delivers a fastball, catches the outside corner for a called strike. That was a favorable call there for the home team. The catcher Tamiya was set up inside, and then he painted the corner away. Action in the Buffalo bullpen, and it's neither of the ones that I was thinking, but it is Sho Iwasaki, who we had commented, would he get a start in the series? I would have thought Perdomo or possibly Machado to bring it home here. And there is a breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count now goes to 1-2 on Sugimoto. That was a really nice pitch by Uehara. So 1-2 here. Fighter left-hander nodding in agreement with his sign with Tamiya. Here comes the 1-2. Pitch on the way. Fastball misses upstairs. Good pitch to change the eye level of Sugimoto. My guess is they're going to come right back down with the same pitch that he got the second called strike on to try to put the hitter away. O'Hare gets a sign. He nods in agreement as he works himself to the belt. And instead, they work away with a slow breaking ball. They appeal down to first base, but they say that Sugimoto didn't go. That runs the count full to 3-2. Interesting. He took a lot off that pitch. So 3 balls and 2 strikes it is. It is in the top of the 8th inning. 2 gone here. 3-2 coming to Sugimoto. Lefty Uehara delivers. Fastball spiked up to the plate, and it's going to be ball 4. And that is going to advance Sugimoto to first, and it's going to bring Yuma Tongu to the plate. So I guess take your chances with the next guy. And Sugimoto, who gets to the plate base, is promptly removed. You had to figure that was coming, and it's going to be a defensive replacement. It's going to be Haruto Watanabe, who is coming in to run for him. So Haruto Watanabe has some speed. And one would have to think that he would probably stay in the game defensively. Well, this brings Tongu to the plate. Tongu is 0 for 3 tonight. He's flown out twice, and he's grounded out. Looking for his first hit. Here comes the offering from Uehara, who delivers. Fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count is 0-1. Tongu was loaded up, ready for bear. So no balls and 1 strike. I was curious if this game here might have depth to it. The only thing I'm kind of hoping is it doesn't go extra innings. And that would be my death nail. I'm hoping it doesn't go extras. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Fastball swung on and pop foul down the right field line, and the count goes to 0-2 on Tongu. Bay Stars and Giants locked up at 5s in the top of the 8th inning. Both teams traded 5 runs in the first inning, and they haven't been able to score since. Unbelievable. That game is currently in the top of the 8th inning, or the top of the 8th has just finished. It'll be the Bay Stars coming to bat in their bottom half of inning number 8. So no balls and 2 strikes to Tongu as the lefty nods in agreement. He likes what Tamiya has to say. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Steady throws over to first and diving back in time as the base runner, and the count is still going to remain at 0-2. Might be a good position to try to run here, maybe on first look or first move. Take your chances to try to get into scoring position and allow Tongu to maybe punch you in. Here comes the 0-2 offering. This time, the pitcher steps off the backside of the rubber and feigns the throw to first base, easily getting Watanabe back to the bag. So again, Uehara nodding in agreement, works himself to the belt. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. on its way. Fastball down. Good stop there by Tamiya. He's going to run the count to 1-2. Tamiya has had a solid game behind the dish tonight. Maybe that's the part of his game that's overlooked the most. Not only is he pretty steady behind the plate, he is also productive, or can be productive with the bat. He's going to feel snake bitten on a couple of plays that the Buffaloes have made against him tonight. So here comes the 1-2 pitch as Uhara again leans in. Uhara is not exactly the quickest worker that we've seen. 1-2 on the way. Pitch coming. Fastball swung on and fouled straight back. Oh, Tongu was right on it, and he just missed it. So 1-2 strikes it is. Back-to-back nights, Fighters and Buffaloes, and maybe we'll do it all again tomorrow night too. We'll have to wait and see. The Buffaloes can hang on here. They're going to have to try to win a couple of more. I don't know if they've got it in them. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball swung on, popped up into shallow right field. Backing up on is the second baseman, Mizuno. He's going to call everybody off, and he's going to make the catch, and that is going to do it as Tongu's gone for the third out of the inning. Well, no runs in the inning, no hits, no errors. There was a runner left aboard. Your score as we move to the bottom of the eighth inning, it is the Buffaloes with a 4-3 lead. Looks like a pitching change is about to happen, and we'll be back in just a couple of moments with all the action for you on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Bottom of the eighth inning, just around the corner when we come back after this.
Well, you got to have an ace in the hole, a little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play, but you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just one roll. You've got to have an ace in the hole.
Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be a pitching change as Aaron Curry's night is over. He really steadied the ship after Hiroya Miyagi had left the game with 3 not so effective innings. So Curry goes 4 innings, and he's going to turn the ball over to Sho Iwasaki, who is going to look to bring the 8th inning home here for the Buffaloes, as Iwasaki will be the third pitcher used by Orix tonight. Kind of a head scratcher. I would have thought Perdomo might have been up next, and then they would have closed it off with Machado, as both players are on the roster, but they choose to go with Iwasaki here tonight. Maybe they know something we don't know for tomorrow. So Iwasaki had 37 appearances during the regular season, and he had a ERA just over 2. So that is where that is. They got a bunch of other changes around the infield that we'll have to try to get you caught up on. It looks like Koji Oshiro is into the ballgame as well. And my guess is Watanabe would probably have moved over into center, and Haruka would move to right. But we'll have to get you caught up on that in just a little bit as we do get the official movement of the players, and more so where they are going to end up in the batting order. So this brings Mizutani to the plate, and the first pitch from Iwasaki is a fastball swung on. It's pop foul. It's going to reach the seats over on the first base side. The count is quickly 0-1. I say that because the changes, when they do come in, sometimes they are not in the changes or not in the area where we would maybe expect them to be in. We obviously know Watanabe ran for Sugimoto. That is going to be pretty straightforward, but I don't know how many double switches these teams do these days in a league where you have a DH. There's a breaking ball that is taken for a called strike. Count is 0-2. Wakatsuki wasn't able to hang on to the pitch as it squirted away. So no balls and 2 strikes. Again, the right-hander kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball swung on and fouled away, and the count remains at 0-2. The other thing is did Tongu stay in the game? I don't know. It looked like there was movement there, and sometimes that means Oda will go to first if Oshiro's come in to play second. If that's the case, then I expect to see Oshiro's name in Tongu's spot in the batting order, but we haven't got the update on that yet. Those, to me, are the logical changes of the Buffaloes. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Split finger pitch misses down. They appeal over to the first base umpire. They say that Mizutani went around, and he is going to be gone for the first out of the inning. As he will slowly walk back to the dugout, Mizutani is gone for the first out. Nice stop there by Wakatsuki. We get a look at the replay, and yeah, he wasn't able to hold up his swing. That's for certain. So 1 in the books. That'll bring up the second baseman in Tatsuki Mizuno. As the right-hander kicks and delivers, there's a first pitch split finger swung on and fouled away, and the count is quickly 0-1. So much like I had projected, Oda has moved over to first base at this point. It's Koji Oshiro who has come in to replace Tongu. He's going to go over in the batting order as he is going to take over duties at second base. And Watanabe stayed in. He goes to center field. It's Haruka who has moved to right. So there you have the official changes all set. There's a breaking ball that misses outside. The count's 1-1 to Mizuno. Bottom of the 8th inning, Buffaloes enjoying a 4-3 lead. They need 5 outs to extend this game to tomorrow night. Fastball swung on and fouled away, or at least to extend the series to tomorrow night. Hopefully this game doesn't go till tomorrow night. Would make it a rough night for sure. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Iwasaki, the crafty veteran right-hander, rocks himself into the windup and delivers. Oh, fastball taken right down the middle by Mizuno. He's gone for the second of the inning. Back-to-back strikeouts by Iwasaki. So maybe I should just keep my speculation to myself. Why is this guy in the ball game and not Perdomo? Well, this is why right here. He has delivered 2 excellent pitch sequences to the first 2 hitters he's faced. 8 pitches so far in this one, and he has thrown 7 strikes. He is all around the zone. And that is going to bring up the top of the order in Chusei Minami. So this will be his toughest test right here. So Minami waiting on the first offering, breaking ball missing down and away, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Waiting his turn on deck is Yazawa. Yazawa came in defensively as Matsumoto was pinch hit for by Ariel Martinez. There's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count's 2-0 to Minami. So 2 balls and no strikes. Iwasaki rocks himself into the windup and delivers. There's a fastball taken at the knees for a called strike. A little surprising. That came in a big-time hurry. That was at 96 miles an hour on the gun. Didn't know Iwasaki had that quite in him, but that was a heck of a pitch right at the knees. A lot of downward taper. Here comes the 2-1. As he rocks into the motion and delivers. Another fastball swung on. This is chopped up the middle, and the ball's going to get through into center field as Manami's got himself a base hit. That's his second hit of the night. He's been aboard 3 times tonight. He's got 2 hits and a walk. That is going to bring up Ariel Martinez. Well, for Martinez, well, actually, it's not going to bring up Martinez, but we are going to have interesting. We're going to have a pinch runner over at first base for Manami. That's interesting. It's going to bring Yazawa to the plate. So who are they running for? They got Hosokawa running for Manami. I have to be honest, I didn't see that coming. So Ryohei Hosokawa into pinch run. As the right-hander delivers the first pitch, it is a split finger pitch and misses down for ball. Count is 1-0 to Yazawa. Cody Yazawa got the start in last night's ball game. He was one of the players who didn't get an opportunity to go back to back. The one-time dual player for the Fighters, not really used as a pitcher this year. So here comes the 1-0 pitch. Maybe his dual days are done. And there is a split figure pitch that's waved at and missed, and the count runs even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Getting into the deep water of this ball game, just as it is in the deep water over in Yokohama. 5-5 in the bottom of the 8th inning. Giants and Bay Stars all locked up. Right-hander holds himself to the set position. Here comes the 1-1. Pitch on the way. Split finger pitch swung on, lined into left field for a base hit. And Yazawa off the bench has got himself a pinch hit single. And now with 2 outs, they've got runners at first and second. And it's going to bring Franmil Reyes to the plate. So a real tough situation here for the Buffaloes. As the pitching coach is on a beeline to the mound. We're going to have a conference here. As Iwasaki started the inning with back-to-back strikeouts, and now it's back-to-back singles. And next thing you know, you got a whole firestorm on your hands as Franmil Reyes is coming to the plate. Well, they got some interesting stuff going on in Yokohama. It looked like Abina had struck out, and there was a wild pitch. And by the looks of it, he made it all the way to second base. Then Kuhara bunted it, sacrifice bunt to move him over to third. Sano ended up walking. They had runners on the corners. And the hero last night's game, Yoshi Satsugo, came up with 1 out, and he struck out. So that is where they stand. They have runners on the corners. And it's Shugo Maki who is at the plate. And the Giants had gone to their bullpen as they brought in Aurelio Martinez, their closer. So 2 gone in Yokohama. So Franmil Reyes waiting at the plate here. Here comes the first offering to him. Oh boy, center cut fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. I think Reyes might want to have that one back. That might be the best pitch of the at-bat that he's going to see. So no balls and 1 strike. Reyes waiting on the offering here from the right-hander. Iwasaki working himself to the set position. Here comes the 0-1. Pitch on the way, fastball upstairs, taken for a ball, and the count is 1-1. That's a good sequence there to Franmil Reyes. They threw one center cut right down the middle, came back with a heater at eyeball height. And now you got to think he's going to get a steady diet of slop here. And whenever is going on, the manager Shinjo seems to be amused in the dugout for the Fighters. He does still continue to wear the mask, but whenever it is, you can see he has eyes lit up when he was talking to his weather coach. There's a fastball that's down. Count goes to 2-1. Yuya Gunji waiting his turn on deck. So the runner at second is Hosokawa. The runner over at first is Yazawa. There is major time speed on the base paths. Both of these guys can fly. Base hit here could score 1. Ball into the gap could get you 2. Here comes the 2-1 pitch to Franmil Reyes. Iwasaki delivers. It is a split finger pitch. It just misses down. Boy, did Kenya Wakatsuki ever want that pitch? That pitch was really close. I want to get a look at that on the replay. I have to confess, I think the pitch was down. They didn't give us the replay on that as of yet. But it was a great job by Wakatsuki to try to win that pitch for his reliever Iwasaki here. He really did a great job of getting underneath it. So here we go. Here comes the 3-1. Pitch on the way. Fastball, center cut. Swung through and missed at 97 miles an hour on the gun, and the count goes full to 3-2. That's some pretty ballsy pitching there by Iwasaki. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. And it looks like it is still 5-5. We looked over and we saw Shugo Maki. Looked like maybe he was hit by a pitch. That loaded the bases, and then Yamamoto grounded out to end the innings. So they're going to the 9th. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into deep right field. This ball could be trouble. It's off the wall. It's fielded by Haruka. He fires it in. Here comes the throw to the plate, and it's not going to be in time. That is going to get both Hosokawa and Yazawa in, and the Fighters have taken a 5-4 lead as Franmil Reyes delivers with a knock the other way. Oh, my goodness. That's a big-time hit. The runners looked like that they were in motion. It was a 3-2 pitch. He absolutely scorched it. He only is going to get himself a single. That's going to bring home the pair of runs. Hosokawa, who came in to run for Minami, which kind of raised my eyebrows, he scored the first run. And then it was Kota Yazawa, who was the runner at first base, came all the way around as well. So a 2-run single off the bat of Franmil Reyes brings the crowd in Hokkaido to their feet. Unreal. And maybe the question will come back again. Why was Luis Perdomo not in the 8th inning? Well, we got a timeout here in the action. It looks like we're going to have ourselves a pitching change. The manager, Kishida, out to the mound. 5-4, the Fighters have the lead. We're going to take a timeout right here, and we'll be back in just a couple moments. It is the Fighters 5, the Buffaloes 4. We'll be right back in just a few.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I'll take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's Another Hollis Build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Welcome back, everybody. It is a 5-4 Fighters lead. We have a pitching change here. We're just waiting on confirmation of which Buffalo has come into the ball game. As the reliever, Sho Iwasaki had come in and struck out the first two batters he faced, and it was a single, and a single that had produced the 2 runs here in the inning. Has given the Fighters a 5-4 lead. It is going to be Yuya Gunji who is coming to bat, and in on relief it is Sachiro Yamazaki. He was up and throwing earlier in the ball game, so Yamazaki is now in relief here. And the first pitch from Yamazaki is bounced up to the plate. A nice stop there by the catcher Wakatsuki. And the count is quickly 1-0. The first question, I think, in the press conference, if I had the microphone in manager Kishida's face, is where was Perdomo in the 8th? Because you needed to get him to get you through to Machado. And I said that originally. Well, it looked like it was the right decision. He struck out the first 2 guys that Iwasaki. And then it was back-to-back hits. There's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count goes to 1-1 on Gunji. Gunji tonight, 1 for 3 tonight. He is 3 for 6 in the series. He's also been hit by a pitch, and he's scored a run. So Aaron Curry, the 4 innings of relief has been wasted, so to speak. As the 1-1 is on the way, there's a fastball swung on and missed. That might be the second question, is why did you take Curry out of the game? Now, I will say this about Curry. It wasn't like he was dominating. A little bit inconsistent, always had runners on base. It was having to play the part of an escape artist. But with that being said, he was still pretty effective. And he really didn't have much of a sweat to break. He could have finished the game off the way he was going. Here's the 1-2. There's a breaking ball that misses down. Another good stop by Wakatsuki. And the count goes to 2-2 on Gunji. It's a good thing it's Reyes running at first base, because if they had some of those wheels on, they might be off to second base or maybe more by now. Looking ahead to the top of the 9th inning, Buffaloes will send Nishino, Nakajima, and Mune to the plate with their season on the line. They've gone from being in a great position to get a win to where they're looking uphill now. So here comes the 2-2 offering as the right-hander Yamazaki delivers. Fastball just misses outside. That pitch was 97 miles an hour on the gun. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. There is action in the bullpen for the Fighters. Have to see if it is closer. Now they've got a pinch runner in the game for Reyes, which is good. They've got a 3-2 pitch coming up here, and so now going to take their opportunity to get some speed on the base paths yet again. So Franmil Reyes' day will be done. And it looks like it could be, is that Nomura who's running? No, it's not Nomura. It's Daiki Asama who has come in to run. So he will stay in the game. So Daiki Asama in to run. And the 3-2 pitch now coming up to Gunji. Kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball down, but the home plate umpire said that he went around, and that is going to do it. Gunji is gone for out number 3, and that is going to do it here for the Fighters. Well, we're going to have a pitching change in the 9th inning, and we're going to see if the Buffaloes can extend their season or if it is about to finish here tonight. 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors, and 1 runner left aboard for the Fighters. We go to the top of the 9th inning. It is the Fighters with a 5-4 lead. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be back in just a few to bring this one home for you right after this timeout. I'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. We have a pitching change. It is going to be Yukiya Saito who is coming on in relief as he will take over here. He was in last night's ball game and he pitched the ninth inning, collecting the save for the Fighters as he retired all three batters he faced. And ironically, it was Nishino, Mori, and Sugimoto who he got out last night. It was a ground out, and a strikeout to end the ball game. And tonight, well, he is going to be entrusted to face Nishino, Nakagawa, and Mune. So we'll see how this will play out here as the big fella is just completing his tune-up tosses. We'll be ready to resume the action in just a moment. And unbelievably, in the game in Yokohama, 5-5 it is, and it is all the runs were scored in the first inning by both clubs. So we're keeping an eye on that one. And it looks like that it is going to the bottom of the ninth inning. The Giants were unable to cash in a run in the top of the ninth, so it goes to the bottom of the ninth with the Bay Stars coming to bat. So there have been some defensive changes, but we are going to have to catch up on that possibly later. So here we are. We are the first pitch of the ball, or the first pitch from Saito is a fastball taken at the knees for a called strike. And the count is 0-1 to Nishino. That pitch poured in at 98 miles an hour on the gun. So Saito, you got to think, is a little bit ramped up here. Here's the pitch, and it's a fastball spiked into the dirt. And the count runs even at 1-1. Nishino's 0 for 3 tonight, 1 for 7 in the series. The stat line or the line score in tonight's game, Fighters 5 runs, 12 hits, no errors. Buffaloes 4-6-0. It has been the better offense of the Fighters for sure. And they've had the little bit better pitching. There is a split finger pitch swung on and missed. Count goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. If this series wraps up tonight, if the Giants can find a way to extend it, we will do the Giants Bay Stars tomorrow. The Bay Stars are looking to win it tonight in Yokohama. Here's the pitch. That's a split finger pitch swung on and missed, and that is going to bury Nishino for the first out of the inning. So 2 outs to go here as the Fighters are looking to set up their rematch with the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks. So 1 gone. It brings Kai Nakagawa to the plate. He is 0 for 3 tonight, 0 for 7 in the series. Or is it? Well, it looks like we're going to have a pinch hitter. I guess the manager, Kishida, has seen enough of Nakagawa. It looks like it's going to be Tomoya Mori. And why not? Tomoya Mori, you know he's an aggressive hitter. He did play in last night's game. He was hitless in that affair. Or is it Mori? It's not Mori here. Mori has moved on deck. So who do we have here? This is number 38 for the Buffaloes. And the first pitch is swung through and missed. This is Ryota Kita. So Ryota Kita on to hit here as he's hoping to catch some magic and run into a ball. So no balls and 1 strike as Saito blew the first pitch right by him. Here comes the 0-1 offering. It's a split finger in the dirt, and he waved at it. The count now goes to 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. Again, the right-hander ready to deliver again. As Saito gets the sign from his catcher, Tamiya. Saito works himself to the set. 0-2 on the way. Pitch coming. Split finger pitch swung on and missed, and Kita goes down on strikes. He's out for the second out of the inning. And the only way I can describe that at bat was overmatched. Saito just absolutely destroyed the young hitter as he has gone for the second out of the inning. And now the Buffaloes are down to their final out. It's slated to be Yuma Mune. But as we had noted, it looked like Tomoya Mori had moved into the on-deck circle. Now, mind you, Mori, the one-time Pacific League MVP, he can run into balls. And he is also very aggressive got to be very careful on the first pitch of the at-bat. He is a first pitch swinger. So Maury coming to bat. As the right-hander delivers, the first pitch is swung on. It's grounded over to second. That should do it. Fielded by Mizuno. He throws to first, and that is going to do it. The Buffaloes are finished for 2025 as the Fighters are going to go on and live another day. It was an easy 1-2-3 inning for Saito. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. And the Fighters will travel to Fukuoka to play the Hawks this week. Stick around, everybody. I'll be back in just a couple moments to wrap this one up for you. We appreciate you guys for jumping in on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Your final score here tonight is the Fighters 5 and the Buffaloes 4. We'll be right back to wrap this one up and put it to bed. And then we'll be ready for some action again later in the week. Hang tight, everybody.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I'll take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's Another Hollis Build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Welcome back, everybody. We'll give you the roundup of this one here. The Orix Buffaloes season has come to an end as they dropped a 5-4 decision to the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighters. Scoring got going early in the ball game as both of these clubs traded runs. In the second inning, it was a Yutaro Sugimoto led off the second with a home run, his first of the playoffs. It gave the Buffaloes an early 1-0 lead. The Fighters responded with one of their own in the second inning. A leadoff single by Shu Yamagata. He was sacrificed over to second, and then Shun Mizutani banged him in to even the score at 1 apiece. The Buffaloes then added 3 runs in the third with 1 out. It was a double by Kenya Wakatsuki. Taishi Haruka singled after Ryo Oda struck out. It was Kotaro Kobayashi hitting a 3-run shot to give the Buffaloes a 4-1 lead. But the Fighters responded with 2 of their own in the third inning. With 1 out, it was a single off the bat of Franmil Reyes after Yuya Gunji was hit by a pitch. Up stepped Kotaro Kiyomiya, and he delivered a 2-run triple that got by the diving Taishi Haruka all the way to the wall that made the scoreline 4-3. And that is where it stood until the 8th inning. In the 8th inning, the Buffaloes went to their bullpen, and they brought in Sho Iwasaki. He struck out the first 2 batters he faced. Then it was back-to-back singles off the bat of Chusei Manami and the pinch hitter Kota Yazawa. And then up stepped Franmil Reyes, and he delivered a 2-run single off the right field wall. And that made the scoreline 5-4. And that is where the final ends up being. Some pretty gutsy performances in this game, certainly by Aaron Curry. He came in and threw 4 innings in relief of Hiroya Miyagi, and that was a pretty good effort. It was a decent bullpen effort after Koki Kitayama was taken out of the game, as it ended up being Kanemaru, Tamai, Uhara, and Saito all coming in to close it off. And the Buffaloes were not able to score another run after inning number 3. All right, everybody. Once again, your final score is the Fighters 5 and the Buffaloes 4. We'll take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard. That game was still going on in Yokohama, as it was in the bottom of the 9th inning last time we had checked in. And by the looks of it, that game is now going to be going to the 10th inning as the Bay Stars went 1-2-3. We're not going to check in on that one. We got to call it a night. We got an early morning tomorrow. And we, once again, appreciate you guys for listening in. If there is a game tomorrow night, it will be the Bay Stars and the Giants on the channel, if that game will be played. And so that'll go off at 10 Pacific or 1 a.m. Eastern. Hopefully you guys can make it in for that. If there is no game tomorrow night, we'll be back on with the Pacific League Series during the week when the Fighters will take on the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks. Have a great night, everybody. We appreciate you for listening in with us on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel.